Ground-type Pokémon trainer. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1 Earth Trainer. The scorching sun was in the sky, and the scorching sun heated everything, and the heat spread across the sky. Xin City was still extremely quiet today, but suddenly there were bursts of noise in the dense grass area. The sound of airwave splitting was very clear, and a bone was seen spinning back and forth. There was also a person and a grey-green Pokémon standing in the distance. Karakara. The bone spun, and was firmly caught by the flashing Karakara. He looked at the boy in front of him in a battle-ready stance, and roared like a declaration of war. Liu Xin calmly said, "I've been dealing with you for 3 months now, and I don't believe that it won't work today. Come on, besides using your own bones to attack, what else can you do?" When he got angry, he directly picked up the bones and attacked. Liu Xin's eyes filled with joy and the corner of her mouth raised as she said, "You can't blame me for becoming my first Pokemon and completing this damned rookie mission." Before Karakara could dodge, a trap appeared beneath her feet. A large hole in the ground dug it out. Not long after, Liu Xin walked over and crushed it with a large rock prepared in advance. Kara, Kara. A shrill cry rang out that didn't completely dissipate until Flash Karakara was knocked unconscious. When Liu Xin saw this scene, her eyes filled with joy and she threw the most ordinary Pokemon ball towards Flash Karakara. Ding dong. A burst of red light was emitted, sucking Flash Karakara into the Pokemon ball, and then, looking at the Pokemon ball swinging back and forth in the pit, Liu Xin's heart also swayed. She had been challenging it day and night for 3 months, and this trap had been carefully prepared for nearly a week. It must succeed. It must succeed. 10 seconds later, Liu Xin's heart calmed down along with the flash of light in the center. Flash Karakara successfully recovered. Ding, congratulations to the host for subduing the first ground-type Pokémon. Points plus 10. The system has finished the beginner's guide and will begin adventure mode. Picking up the Pokémon ball, thinking about the system's words in his mind, he was full of emotions. He used to be an otaku on Earth. He would stay up all night, wake up, and travel to this Pokémon world. More than 3 years have passed since then. The moment he opened his eyes, the system was limited, and his body became that of an 8 or 9-year-old child. Because Liu Xin, who has been reading time travel novels and anime all year round, quickly figured out his position and understood the situation. In this Pokémon world, there is only one goal: to tame Pokémon and become the strongest trainer. As for his time, Xiaozi, the son of the Plane, had been training for several years and was considered the younger generation in Xin City. At this time, after subduing the brilliant Karakara, Liu Xin looked at the sky. It was a little late, and he was returning to Xin City. His parents in this world were still waiting for him at home, which he relied on. He has tamed the Pokémon with his own ability, so he will probably receive a lot of praise when he returns home. After subduing the first Pokémon, Liu Xin was still a little excited. He immediately threw out the Flash Karakara and shouted the line from the second chapter, "The decision is yours, Flash Karakara." As soon as I shouted, I didn't expect to have the opportunity to succeed. The Flash Karakara was thrown out. Although he would not attack Liu Xin directly, his eyes were very dissatisfied and I shouted, "Kara, Kara," as if to say, "The youngsters disrespect martial ethics and sneak attack me, a careless little Pokémon that didn't dodge." Liu Xin smiled a little awkwardly. It wasn't easy to retrieve the Pokémon with his own strength, not to mention that the target task assigned by the system must be Flash Karakara. Otherwise, he would want to kidnap a Kodak duck by the lake and trick a green caterpillar into returning to the forest. That would be very simple. With the support of the system, Liu Xin was able to clearly see Flash Karakara's attribute panel. Flash Gala Gala, level 1. Gala Gala evolved at level 30, attack power 50 defense, 95 special attack, 40 special defense, 50 speed, 35 trays, Hardhead, will not be damaged by the skill reaction force. Lightning Rod, attracts electric shocks, and will not take damage. Flash trays, combat armor, will not be hit at vital points, dodge is enhanced, and every time you successfully dodge, the defense increases by a few points. Skills, headbutt, toughness, boomerang. Liu Xin was very satisfied with Flash Karakura, nodded and said, not bad, at least the attack aspect is outstanding. At this time, the system's voice appeared again. Ding, the host has completed the beginner's guidance task. This system is the strongest Pokémon system. Now you can also redeem the corresponding accessories, items, and Pokémon through points. But host, please note that in your adventure race, for the time being, only ground-type Pokémon can be conquered, and Pokémon with other attributes are not allowed. When you become the strongest ground-type trainer, you will be able to add Pokémon with other attributes. Hearing this, Liu Xin let out a long sigh and said, a single attribute is really hard to overcome, but fortunately, in the early stage of ground clearing, there is Flash Karakura with a super physical attack, which basically sweeps away the mobs on the roadside. And this Flash Karakura was seen from Liu Xin's body. With a sad expression on his face, he thought he was dissatisfied with himself, so he gave him a bone. System prompt, Flash Karakura used a basic attack, causing a certain amount of damage to you. Liu Xin touched his head and said in pain, if you hadn't hit me so hard, wouldn't this hit have caused me a slight concussion? Also, I'm not disappointed in you. Why are you like this? Are you excited? Stop hitting. That's it. If you hit anyone again, I'm going to fall down. Just like that, the Pokémon and the trainer returned home fighting. Back at their home in Zengxin City, Liu Xin's parents burst into tears and cried with joy. Xin, you finally tamed your first Pokémon. 3 months ago, you were able to go to Damu. The doctor chose the starter Pokémon, but you have to catch the shiny Karakura. At first, I thought its brain was broken. Luckily, it's not broken, but it's been hit harder. You're my great eldest son. Stop talking so much. Sit down quickly. Mom has prepared a very rich meal to ensure that you are full and comfortable. Liu Xin was very hungry after working for so long and began to wolf it down. Early the next morning, Liu Xin's parents prepared a small backpack because in this world, when you reach a certain age and get your first Pokémon, you have to go on an adventure. Son, now that you have your first Pokémon, it's time to set off. Put on your small backpack and start the adventure. Oh, by the way, you should challenge him when you go on an adventure. There's a gym competition, right? I remember that the gym leader in Joban City has been away, so he might not be able to hold a gym competition. You should go to Nibi City and try it out first. I heard that the gym there is easier to challenge and is very suitable for new trainers. After explaining everything to you and me, Liu Xin officially embarked on his own adventure. And the moment Liu Xin left Zengxin City, the system's voice appeared again. Ding, the host triggered the main quest, went to Nibi City to participate in the gym competition, and won. If the quest is successful, you will receive mysterious treasure box, and 100 points as a reward. Xin Shang sighed and looked at the map inside the illustrated book. This new city is still very far away from Nibi City. It will take at least a month and a half to reach the end. He explored the Pokéball in his bag, made a plan, and said firmly, while training the Pokémon, we will go to Nibi City. First, let's grow my army of ground-type Pokémon. Chapter 2, Strong Enemy, the One-Horned Rhinoceros. But at this moment, as he was planning, the ground suddenly trembled, and a roar broke the silence. This kind of commotion made Liu Xin cheer up and look at the object in front of him. The next second he was planning to fight, he turned around and ran away. Unexpectedly, this kind of commotion was not caused by 1 or 2 Pokémon, but by a group of Pokémon running at a very slow speed. The so-called outnumbered. If he were to fight so many Pokémon alone now, he would definitely not be able to survive. You really have to be careful in this Viridian forest. There are Pokémon everywhere. Then don't be in a hurry to level up here. Let's level up my Karakura first. There's no shortage of Pokémon in the forest. Especially Pokémon like Green Caterpillar, Pidgeot, Unicorn, and Pokémon. These Pokémon are used to level up trainers. Soon came Flash Karakura's first battle against 2 green caterpillars. Although they are both at level 1, their combat prowess is very different. The green caterpillar looked at Flash Karakura with hostility, but this guy didn't take it seriously. Kara. He also made verbal sarcasm and looked disdainful. The two green caterpillars directly became angry and used the simplest collision. However, their movement seemed so pale and slow in Flash Karakura's eyes. Practice your skills on them. Liu Xin's words were exactly what Flash Karakura had in mind. Instead of ending the battle immediately, he began to dodge. After all, what a shining battle armor requires is dodging. The more you dodge, the more defense it will increase. You can see that every time the dodge is successful, there will be a few more small stones on Flash Karakura's body, sticking to the surface of the skin. Kara. Is this kid born with sarcasm? The constant verbal provocation is actually asking for a beating. The green caterpillars were already a little out of breath. After all, their physical strength was really low. But being ridiculed, can you endure this? Use Crash at the same time to charge directly towards Flash Karakura. Stand and let them hit you. Let me see how high your defense is now. The two impacts fell on Flash Karakura, and unexpectedly they only smashed the rocks on the surface, without causing any damage to the body. Ding! Flash Karakura used special counterattacks against the green caterpillars, and the effect was remarkable. Ding! Flash Karakura defeated the green caterpillar x2, the level increased, and the points were +2. Unexpectedly, the two green caterpillars hit each other. They were excluded from the collision. This also shows how thick Flash Karakura's current appearance is, and how high the defensive armor is. 2 levels are not enough. Keep leveling up. Liu Xin and Shiny Karakura began to skillfully use Flash properties. Few Pokémon could deal substantial damage to Shiny Karakura. If you encounter a flying Pokémon, Flash Karakura will directly boomerang, doubling the damage to enemies in the air and instantly killing them. In this way, in just one morning, Flash Karakura rose 8 levels in a row, reaching level 9. Liu Xin looked at Flash Karakura through the system, and found that all aspects had improved significantly, and the physical attack was even more ridiculously high. It has almost surpassed the 150 mark. Flash Karakura is indeed a Flash Pokémon, with much better attributes in all aspects. Well done, keep up the good work. If this continues, we'll evolve soon. Boom. The noise alarmed Liu Xin, who couldn't help but look up. It was a very large one-horned rhinoceros with a layer of metallic shine rock armor on the outside. It seems to be having trouble with the trees, and intends to smash the trees in front of it directly. Level 11 one-horned rhino, an interesting battle has begun. The decision is yours, Flash Karakura. As soon as Flash Karakura came out, it aimed directly at the one-horned rhino. The opponent also locked onto Flash Karakura. You should know that one-horned rhinoceros is a Pokémon that locks onto its target and doesn't let go. It's now staring at Karakura, making preparations and stances to charge. Flash Karakura has been dealing with Liu Xin for so long, and has some ways to deal with it in all aspects. You know, humans are much more difficult to deal with than Pokémon. Honey, the opponent said. One-horned rhinoceros roared and charged, very fast. The ground began to tremble with a sudden gust. If Flash Karakura was hit like this, he would definitely suffer a lot of damage. Liu Xin repeatedly shouted, dodge immediately and then use counterattack. Flash Karakura did not hesitate, did not dare to neglect at all, and tried his best to avoid the impact of the one-horned rhinoceros. One side tried to avoid the rampage, and the other side directly crashed into the trees. Obviously, although it is powerful, it only hits in a straight line, which is a bit foolish. Flash Karakura will not miss any opportunity and directly takes out his bone club and starts attacking. Boom. There was a loud noise and the attack landed on the one-horned rhinoceros. Ding, the system indicates that Flash Karakura's attack did not break the opponent's armor. TSK, it's really insensitive. Flash Karakura was very stable and did not succeed in an attack, so he retreated and began to look for opportunities. The fighting spirit in the eyes of the one-horned rhinoceros is stronger, and the power charging moves are more serious. An instant push, like a grey lightning bolt, the strength and speed were astonishing. Flash Karakura only slowed down for a moment before being dragged away. His arm was scratched, and his face looked a little ugly. Ding, the system prompts that the one-horned rhinoceros used a collision, causing some damage to Flash Karakara. At this moment, Liu Xin was a little anxious and continued to give orders how to fight like this. Karakara, don't fight him head on. Next, you must dodge all the other side's attacks. Flash Karakara's eyes also changed. He was obviously unhappy about his mistake. He held his breath and focused on avoiding all the opponent's attacks. The one-horned rhinoceros found that his attack still didn't have much of an effect. The breath coming out of his nostrils became thicker, and his fighting spirit obviously increased again. The moment the fighting spirit increases, the collision will become more fierce. Next, I saw him rush towards Flash Karakara a little faster than before. Bite. Friction broke out, and Karakara used his bones to resist the impact, escaping the opponent's collision with minimal damage. Good boy. Liu Xin was a little excited. He didn't expect Flash Karakara to be so good at playing, using bones to avoid damage. Clearly, the possibilities are endless with this Flash Karakara. The one-horned rhinoceros was so angry that it attacked empty-handed. Can this be tolerated? Once again, it made a good move to charge up its energy. Obviously, this time the attack was even more fierce. Speed, strength, and power must be improved in all aspects. Flash Karakara was extremely serious, slightly clenching the bones in his hands and feeling nervous inside. Liu Xin also felt that excitement and gulped. Watch the one-horned rhinoceros movements carefully and start reacting immediately as soon as the opponent makes a move. The two fell into a sort of tranquility and neither of them took any action lightly. Chapter 3 The First Battle of the Adventure, Itokuro. The two sides kept silent and did not dare to act rashly. Kara, honey. The two began to provoke with words, and Karakara even waved his small bones, nakedly declaring war. He directly became the fuse. The one-horned rhinoceros couldn't restrain his anger and charged. This is the time. Get out of the way. Liu Xin's voice made Flash Karakara instinctively make corresponding actions and instantly dodge to the side. Perfect avoidance. Unexpectedly, Flash Karakara achieved a perfect dodge and avoided the collision of the one-horned rhinoceros. Ding, the system prompts. Flash Karakara realized. Perfect avoidance. Then, let's see if you can touch me. The corners of Liu Xin's mouth raised slightly, and his eyes were very interested. Flash Karakara took a deep breath, roared, and pounded the ground with his bones. Kara. Bellicose and constantly provocative. The one-horned rhino lost its mind and began to attack non-stop. Perfect avoidance. 3 or 4 times in a row, it was able to avoid the one-horned rhino's attack, consuming most of the opponent's energy. The one-horned rhino today no longer has much strength. It is panting and looks ugly. The screams became extremely weak. It was not easy to stay here. On the other hand, Flash Karakara consumes a lot of energy, but its condition is much better than that of the one-horned rhino. Is there only one last rampage left? Next, you should be optimistic, seize the opportunity, and trip him up with a bone in the middle of evasion. Standing on the battlefield, the bright-faced man looked at Liu Xin, as if to say, are you teaching me how to do things? It seems that this temperament is actually not that friendly. However, the more Pokémon there are, the more unlimited possibilities for development and cultivation it will have. The one-horned rhinoceros gasped, putting all its strength and faith into the collision. As it roared, its entire body was shaking. The only thing it could focus on was the front and everything else was out of its sight. Run. This is its only thought now, to defeat the shining Karakara in front of it. Perfect avoidance. Flash Karakara only half evaded it this time. It didn't completely dodge, and the bones in its hands were immediately used. The one-horned rhinoceros received a heavy blow on its thigh, but its entire body was protected, but it couldn't resist the unbalanced body. With the strength of its entire body and the inertia of gravity, it couldn't control its entire body, and fell heavily in front of it. It was very embarrassing to have close contact with the ground. Ding, the system indicates that Flash Karakara uses touches and the effect is remarkable. Ding, system prompt. Congratulations to Flash Karakara for defeating the one-horned rhinoceros. The level has improved, and the points are +11. At this time, Liu Xin retreated. I went to Caracala's attribute panel and checked. Flash Caracara, level 10, level 30 evolves Gala Gala, attack 160 special attack, 140 defense, 100 special defense, 130 speed, 90 trays, hardhead, will not be damaged by the skill reaction force, lightning rod, attracts electric shocks, and will not be damaged, flash trays, combat armor, will not be hit in vital points, dodge is improved, and every time you successfully dodge, the defense will increase by a few points. Skills, headbutt, toughness, boomerang, perfect evasion, Kara. Flash Caracalla was very excited after gaining victory. He picked up his bone club and planned to attack Liu Xin. Brother, just celebrate. Don't use this way of celebrating. That endangers your life, okay? If you win once, you have to celebrate like this. Even if I give you 10 lives, it won't be enough for you. Karakara's eyes flickered. He was very disdainful and even gave the impression that Liu Xin was stingy and refused to even be beaten. Obviously, this guy is becoming more and more erratic, but his relationship with Liu Xin is getting better and better. As the level increases, the attributes will improve more or less. As for combat effectiveness, it still depends on the on-the-spot performance. If I encounter a Pokémon with such high armor, I guess it will be difficult to win. Flash Caracara's physical attack is indeed very powerful, but it's a bit difficult to break through the armor. To intimidate the guy, let things escalate quickly. Before he had time to rest, Flash Caracara began to face the next battle. He began to challenge many wild Pokémon again. But soon after, the sound of horse hooves broke the tranquility of the forest. I saw a dark-skinned energetic young man rushing out of the forest, riding a small fire horse beneath him, looking extremely majestic. According to the system's prompts, this little fire horse is level 14. Are you a trainer from Zenxin City? My name is Itohei, you can call me Ziohei. Liu Xin, I wonder what you're doing here, Ziohei? He said, of course it's to train Pokémon. Although my little fire pony is now at a very high level, it was very weak a few days ago. Encounter is fate. How about we come and learn from each other? Until the point is reached. Liu Xin raised the corners of his mouth and nodded. I wish I could. I hope Ziohei can make me happy. Flash Caracara was ready to face a little fire horse. The area around the temples is burning with scorching fire. It is said that the stronger the flames in the temples, the more powerful the person will be. It was obvious that the little fire horse in front of him was not weak, and its strength should not be underestimated. Use patience. In order to resist the opponent's attack in exchange for great damage, Liu Xin wouldn't dare to use it if the opponent wasn't a fire-attributed fire horse. Flash Caracara did as he was told, placing the bones in front of him, and a faint grey appeared all over his body to protect himself. Start defense so soon. Little fire horse, use fireball. Flames shot out from little fire horse's mouth, and a small fireball struck Flash Caracara with a fierce momentum. Boom. There was a dull impact sound, and this blow struck Flash Caracara. It didn't cause much damage, but it gave patience a chance. Flash Caracara extinguished the flames with one hand, took his bone stick, and charged towards the little fire horse. Good boy, little fire horse dodges. The little fire horse wasn't slow, and began to dodge, and the two began to compete in speed. In terms of speed, Flash Caracara is not weaker than the opponent, and coupled with the previous battle, it has already been different. The bones on its hand are thick and powerful, and with just one punch, small craters appear on the ground, showing how terrifying physical attacks are. At this moment, Flash Caracara has a light brown glow, which is the increase brought about by the resistance effect. The little fire horse evaded, while spitting out small fireballs. Boom, boom, boom. The Flash Caracara did not stop at all, and broke the bones perfectly with a single punch. Immediately, its body became a little more grayish brown, and its strength became stronger. One goes and the other goes. The flames on little fire horse begin to weaken, while Flash Caracara's entire body glows brown, and she is very energetic. Liu Xin calmly said, do it. Boomerang. Flash Karakura was good at it and rushed towards the little fire horse at a very fast speed. Kang. A thumping sound rang out, and the little fire horse was hit hard by the powerful physical attack and was directly knocked back. With the advantage of endurance, Flash Karakura's physical attack has reached an unprecedented terrifying level. Instantly kill with a single blow. Chapter 4 Mutation, Little Elephant. With the increase in resistance, Flash Karakura, who had a perverted physical attack, became even more terrifying. Naturally, it is easy to kill the little fire horse with a boomerang. The level 14 little fire horse had no resistance at all and was instantly knocked down by Flash Karakura. Ding. System prompts. Flash Karakura uses the boomerang and the effect is remarkable. Ding. System prompts. Flash Karakura defeats the little fire horse. The level is improved and the points are plus 14. It turns out that this point is proportional to the level. The defeat points will be added to the Pokemon's level. Now, Karakura has reached level 11, but it's not enough. For Liu Xin, this is just the beginning. Itaguro was a little worried, but he could see that Flash Karakura had already reserved his hand and was simply knocking out the little fire pony. He stroked the little fire pony and comforted it. You're already doing very well. Go back and rest. But Liu Xin, don't think that the battle is over. Come out, my second Pokemon, Little Ladder. The little purple mouse landed on the ground and looked at Karakura with its teeth and claws extended, looking very fierce. Liu Xin touched his backpack and said enviously, after this competition, I must catch the second Pokemon. I only have one Pokemon now, which is totally unreasonable. Zio hey, you must be careful. Rattata's Flash Karakura doesn't have any advantage. Itohei said unconvincingly, Rattata, you Simpact. The level 16 Rattata is not bad, but in terms of attributes, it is much weaker than Flash Karakura, and even worse than the previous little fire horse. It was able to easily avoid damage, its flashing battle armor activated, and grayish brown stones also appeared on its body. Layers of defense stack up, and the body becomes much stronger. Perfect evasion can even increase the defense of the battle armor, which will continue to consume Rattata. Itaguro said sadly, if I can't catch you this way, what about this move? Rattata, use lightning. The speed increased a little, as if teleporting, and it was approaching Flash Karakura. It's over. In Flash Karakura's opinion, this attack was too weak and too slow, far inferior to the one-horned rhinoceros and the little fire horse. The bone rod in his hand directly broke in the direction of the opponent's impact. Boom. Ding, prompts the system. Flash Karakura uses taps on Rattata, and the effect is remarkable. Ding, prompts the system. Flash Karakura defeats Rattata, and the points are plus 16. Itaguro was obviously heartbroken, as two Pokemon with as many levels as high Flash Karakura were easily killed. He took a deep breath and declared war. Just wait for me. After I get stronger, I will definitely challenge you again. Then I will wait at any time. I hope that what I see then will be Flame Horse and Ladder. Have a good trip. The free experience package made Liu Xin feel good, but problems also arose. She has fewer Pokemon, and most people start with 2 Pokemon. She still only has one shiny Karakura, so her next goal is very clear, catch her second Pokemon. Before she could get enough rest, a heat wave washed over me. It's so hot. Why did the temperature suddenly rise so much? Are there any fire-type Pokemon there? If there is, you can still increase your experience level. He just moved the grass in front of him and turned around directly. The ashes fell, and it was obvious that the temperature was ridiculously high. Obviously, this heat is not something that ordinary Pokemon can release, which also shows that the opponent is very strong. It was definitely an unprecedentedly powerful enemy, which made Liu Xin approach nervously. If the problem is bad, run away immediately. After all, this level of temperature and heat wave is not simple. However, the Pokemon that came into sight was a bit surprising. He expected it to be some kind of terrifying fire-type Pokemon, but he didn't expect it to be a small elephant that was about the same size as a small dog. It's just that the small elephant looked a little strange at this moment, and its entire body was trembling. Is the main heat wave radiating from there? It's just a bad Pokemon. It turns out that the small elephant is a ground type and can be conquered. But it looks a little strange, so it's best to be careful. Looking at the trembling little elephant, Liu Xin had no intention of directly subduing it. Instead, go ahead and see how it goes in person. As he gently placed his hand on the little elephant, an enormous force suddenly surged from its body. A low roar was heard, causing Liu Xin to take a few steps back, his eyes shocked. Feeling the remaining heat in my hands, he couldn't believe it. The little elephant has a pure land attribute. Why is it so hot? Pokémon will change due to the living environment, or adapt to the environment. Is it the same for the little elephant? A low cry was heard, and sure enough, flames began to surge from the body. This made Liu Xin feel like he had found a treasure, his eyes shining, and he said, "I'm so amazing. It's really a mutated Pokémon. Although I don't know why it has a fire attribute, I'm obliged to catch this little elephant." Flame. The temperature was getting higher and higher, and Liu Xin began to feel threatened and retreated repeatedly. "Are you so fierce? Are you eating the wrong thing with love? Flash Karakara, why don't you go and see what's going on?" Flash Karakara's ground attribute approached step by step, and the small stones on the surface were directly burned, directly breaking through the defense. These flames have the effect of ignoring defense. It seems that defense or armor are meaningless to it. This is not called a mutation, it is simply a super enhancement. Flash Karakara's body burned, and it quickly ran back, extinguishing the flames and howling strangely. Kara, obviously venting its discontent and lack of understanding towards the little elephant in front of it. The little elephant had a pained expression, and a mark gradually began to appear on its forehead, similar to that of a flamingo. Many areas of its body began to burst into flames, resembling a small fire horse. Its eyes turned fiery red, as if it was in a sea of fire. Liu Xin opened the system to view the properties. Mutated little elephant, level 16 attack, 170 special attack, 220. After reading all the attributes, Liu Xin was stunned. The new attributes are doubled compared to the little elephant's original attributes, followed by a special attack. The special attack is ridiculously high, and it is obviously a Pokémon that relies on skill output. Enough. The second Pokémon, a ground type, must be a mutated baby elephant. The little elephant was ready to mutate at any time. Liu Xin said in a deep voice, "Flash Karakara, ready to fight at any time. It may be a fierce battle, but it must be won." Kara, with an arrogant look on his face, he hit the ground with his bone stick. Who is he looking at? After the residual heat passed, the temperature gradually began to drop, and the baby elephant's mutation ended. And his eyes turned red, and he lost his mind, staring at Liu Xin and Flash Karakara. Little elephant. Chapter 5 Fierce Battle, Little Mutated Elephant. Roaring angrily, the small body began to collapse, and the flames burned with it. The gravel is covered in flames, forming a new small fireball, which is more lethal than the individual fire and earth attributes. It is not simply 1 + 1 = 2, but greater than. Perfect avoidance. Flash Karakara's combat experience is indeed greater than that of the mutated baby elephant. Moreover, the mutated little elephant is now in a state of rampage, and cannot be controlled at all. It began to attack randomly, and the power of its body was quickly exhausted. The fireballs were like meteor showers, continuously falling and filling an area. It's pretty, but its power is not that simple. A spark caused a small pit the size of a palm, and nothing could be seen from there. The main thing is that the other party released more than a dozen at once, which was extremely dense. Flash Karakara's perfect evasion was interrupted, and the small rocks on its body shattered. The Flash's signature battle armor cannot be interrupted when evading, otherwise the body armor will disappear. Kara. He was very sad, stroked the flames on his body, and looked seriously. He held the bone stick in his hand tighter, always watching the opponent's attack. Flame clash. He directly turned into a fireball and rushed straight towards Flash Karakara. The speed is a bit more terrifying than that of the one-horned rhinoceros and the firehorse. It is really powerful. Liu Xin gritted his teeth and shouted, "Be patient. You must withstand this blow no matter what, and then defend." Flash Karakara smashed the bone stick in front of him, forming a defense to resist the front. Be patient and open. Boom. The sound instantly erupted, sparks flew everywhere, and the gravel on the ground shattered. Flames began to appear on Flash Karakura's body, and the ruthless flames eroded Flash Karakura's body. Wounds began to appear, health points dropped greatly, and a fierce battle began. The little elephant never gave up. With its special attack advantage, it naturally released all the flames. The already dazzling flames instantly increased by a degree, directly knocking down the shining Karakura, and the bone rod began to turn black. Kara. The wounds on its body continued to increase, burning. Ordinary flames wouldn't do much damage to ground-type Pokémon, but this flame was a little weird, ignoring everything and burning the body. Damn it, are you really not your opponent? Flash Karakura's entire body began to be covered in flames, but it didn't fall. Its eyes were firm and stubborn, showing no intention of giving in. The hand holding the bone rod grew harder and harder, moving forward step by step, as if it was slowly getting used to the flames. Ding, Flash Karakura has acquired the Fire antibody, can resist all fire damage. Liu Xin was stunned when he heard the system message. There really is no limit to growth. It's scary to have a lightning rod, but now there is an antibody against flames. From now on, will shiny Karakura's fire and thunder type Pokémon be defeated casually? Although it possesses antibodies against flames, it is still unable to resist this armor-piercing fire. More or less, I still have some resistance, so I won't be suppressed to death. The resistance reaches its limit and gravel can be seen, one after another, covering Flash Karakura's body. Earthy brown stones began to appear all over the body, and even the bones were covered with a thick layer. Not to mention the bone rod in its hand. It was completely covered in flames, and looked very beautiful. You can't take it anymore. Start fighting back, Kara. Speed and power exploded at the same time, bursting out with unprecedented power, directly shaking the little elephant charging in front of him. The bone club in his hand is even more beautiful. The combination of gravel and flames is very powerful. The little elephant's reaction continued unabated. The second after being knocked down, he adjusted his body and charged again. At this moment, Flash Karakura's physical attack has reached a terrifying state, and it completely relies on stamina to reach its limit. Boomerang. The attack with the highest damage is also an attack that can maximize physical attacks. Kara. Roaring in a low voice, he fiercely waved the bone club in his hand. The sound of breaking through the air could be heard resounding in the void. Even Liu Xin, who was a few meters away, was blown away by this wind and wave, which was very terrifying. The powerful boomerang headed straight towards the charging little elephant, with astonishing power. The grayish red and the bright red collide, and bright sparks burst out. Countless small flames spread out all around, turning the small grassland into an open space, and being mercilessly burned by the flames. After a few breaths of collision, it exploded and a mushroom cloud appeared. Boom. The terrifying sound resounded in all directions, and Liu Xin retreated several steps to avoid its sharp edge. Ding. Flash Karakura uses the boomerang, and the effect is remarkable. Ding. The little mutant elephant uses the flame collision, and the effect is remarkable. After the explosion dissipates, you can see the Flash Karakura and the little mutated elephant standing upright. He did not fall down, but their entire bodies were scarred, and they could no longer struggle. As they looked at each other panting, the little mutant elephant stuck out its short legs and planned to continue attacking. Flash Karakura did not retreat and walked step by step towards the bone stick falling in the middle. The two of them slowly walked towards each other in this manner. Although their speed was not fast, they were very determined. The mutated little elephant should still be under the impact of the flame pack and its sanity has not returned. But Flash Karakura was not like that. His eyes were firm, and his steps firm, walking towards the bone stick in the middle step by step. Kara. Sure enough, there are endless possibilities, just wait. With this kind of injury, even if he successfully defeated his opponent, he would have to go to the Pokémon hospital to recover. However, this battle was definitely a rare and valuable experience. I did obtain the bone rod, but at this moment, the Flash Karakura seemed unable to swing, and its power was basically exhausted. The little elephant was still able to continue charging, and the weak flames on its body instantly rose, bursting out with one last burst of brilliance. However, before it could charge, a Pokeball hit it firmly in the face. The powerful red light absorbed it, and the flames that had just risen instantly followed the ball of Pokemons. Using this method to end the game is almost like a sneak attack, which is a bit ungrateful. However, Liu Xin did not do this kind of thing once or twice. One can understand how Flash Karakura was subdued by looking at the mutated little elephant in front of him, who was interrupted while casting a spell. The trembling Pokemon Ball made Liu Xin nervous. We must succeed. Even shiny Karakura can't fight. If it doesn't succeed, I'll be the only one to catch it. If this is the case, you might as well practice on your own and become a trainer who can catch Pokemon with your bare hands. What else does he need? He kept trembling and finally heard a crisp ding sound, and Liu Xin jumped up excitedly. As for Flash Karakura, he fell straight down, was seriously injured, and fell into a coma. Thank you very much. Chapter 6 Against Rockets. Thank you very much for your hard work. Go back and rest well. He put away the Pokemon Ball and looked at the two Pokemon Balls in his hand, his face full of joy. The shiny Karakura with endless possibilities, a powerful mutated little elephant. It seems that the Pokemon I obtained are very extraordinary. It seems good to become a ground-type trainer. Wow. Who is it? A wave hasn't subsided, and another wave has emerged. The grass in front of me made a rustling sound and something was definitely trying to jump out. However, what jumped out wasn't a Pokemon, but two guys in very familiar costumes. That big pink R on the chest. Who else would wear this outfit besides Team Rocket? The color of their hair is also a strange combination of pink and blue. It's just that it doesn't look like those two guys. I thought it was Musashi and Kujiro. But that's right, they ran out after Zyozzy so as not to meet me. Listen to our names, and remember our existence. From being destroyed, to protect the peace of the world, to implement the evil of love and truth. Cute and lovely villains, Ichiro Daichi, Sandeko Masami, we are the rockets that travel through the galaxy, the white hole, the white tomorrow waiting for us. Liu Xin yawned out of boredom and said disdainfully, I've heard this line at least 1,000 times. I dare you to use this catchphrase on all the rockets, just change their names. Daddy and Masami were treated like this? When I asked, I didn't know what to say. He pointed directly and said, nonsense, we cultural people call it borrowing, how can it be considered plagiarism? Also, Kujiro and Musashi senpai are our rivals. Is there any problem with this? Liu Xin said in surprise, no, right? They really don't have any fans, do they? Daddy said angrily, believe it or not, the two elders are my idols anyway, so we must implement their ideas and catch them. Catch powerful Pokemon. We just saw the battle between your Pokemon and the mutated baby elephant. That's definitely the Pokemon we want. Then please hand over two of them, maybe we can save you some pain. Masami had already taken out the Pokemon and was ready to fight at any time. The same went for Daddy, looking at Liu Xin. There is a saying that Liu Xin is really not suitable for fighting now. Both Pokemon were seriously injured and had no ability to fight again. Will he face both Pokemon alone? That's absolutely impossible. My physical body is not that powerful. How to solve it? By the way, let's see if there is anything good in the system. Anyway, Liu Xin now has 150 points. There must be something good that can be redeemed, right? With one glance, he immediately discovered the good things about the system. Ding, the host has been detected to be in crisis. We recommend the recovery fountain. 50 points can restore a Pokemon, but this item can only be used once a month. After listening to the system introduction, Liu Xin was a little excited. There's no need to go there. In the Pokemon hospital, you can resurrect the Pokemon to full health by simply using the recovery fountain. It's a convenient, fast, and very powerful function. This is a good thing, but it can only be used once a month. This is too restrictive. Otherwise, I can challenge some powerful Pokemons by jumping in. If I'm defeated and then recover, if I continue to fight, I'll definitely be. Maybe it's because I'm afraid of affecting some kind of balance in this world. Forget it. You sit once first and treat me to both the mutated little elephant and the Flash Karakura. Liu Xin communicated with the system, and then 100 points were deducted. After using this source of instant recovery, Flash Karakara and mutated little elephant have both recovered their full health and can continue fighting. Daddy was obviously a little impatient. It seems that you just want to suffer a little physical pain. Forget it. I won't cry until I see the coffin. Come on. Weird Abo. Ladder. Abo monster. Level 23 attack. 100 special attack. 70 ladder. Level 22 attack. 98 special attack. 60. Although the level is very high and both are evolved forms, their combat power and all aspects are far inferior to Liu Xin's Pokémon. I originally thought of calling out Flash Karakara to fight, but I haven't used the mutated baby elephant yet. The decision is yours, little mutant elephant. Little elephant. As soon as the little mutated elephant came out, it made a charging motion, and flames began to rise. Its eyes had long since returned to their original red color, not the violent crimson color. It was just that he was a little sad seeing Liu Xin's expression, but he accepted the fate of being subdued and shouted at the two Pokémon in front of him. Aha, it's so hot. This little mutated elephant is actually not that simple. As soon as it came out, the temperature instantly rose by several degrees. Didn't you just see that it was seriously injured? It resurrected with full health to fight. Is this it? Can the characteristics of mutant Pokémon be directly restored to full health? The two members of Team Rocket were overjoyed and directly defined the baby mutant elephant as such a perverted existence. This is also the first time Liu Xin has fought a baby mutant elephant, and information about the baby mutant elephant appears in the system. Mutated little elephant. Level 16. Level 30 can evolve dungeon armor, but due to the mutation, Firestone is required to complete the evolution. Attack. 170 special attack. 180 defense. 120 special defense. 130 trays. Hidden sand. In Sandstorm the evasion rate increases with the weather, and will not be affected by the physical loss caused by sandstorms. Mutant trays. Piercing fire. Ignores all defenses, skill defense, body defense or shields, etc. Can be easily burned by this flame. Damage and special attack proportional. Skills, Soil Thorn, Flame Jet, Fireball, Earthquake, Impact. This mutant tray is really powerful. I should rely on this mutant tray to deal damage. Earth and fire combine. Combat effectiveness. Needless to say, Dada's eyes sparkled, and she felt more and more that the mutated little elephant was powerful and rare. Core Masumi said excitedly, we must catch such a rare Pokémon. And the little elephant is so cute. After adding a few fireballs, it becomes even cuter. Catch it quickly. The Abo monster starts to attack. The poison monster Abo itself is a powerful existence. However, when it encounters a mutated baby elephant with an earth attribute, it is difficult for the attack to be effective. Entangled. The Abo monster planned to wrap its body around the mutated little elephant until it suffocated. However, before it got close, it was deterred by the high temperature. It seemed timid, not daring to continue using the entanglement. Abo is strange. Then there is no need to entangle. Change your skills to poison needles and dissolving liquid. There is also a pool of water like poison floating above the mutated baby elephant, emitting a corrosive aura. However, the poison attribute has little effect on the mutated baby elephant. The flames that erupted from its body directly evaporated them. Abo was at his wit's end. You have to rely on me at the critical moment. Ladder uses lightning. Ladder's entire body turned gold and silver, and her speed instantly increased, like a small cannonball rushing towards the mutated little elephant. Liu Xin raised the corners of her mouth, and said with a wicked smile, are you a match? Let's see who can hit whom. The mutated little elephant, use flame collision. Chapter 7 Battle against Heluga. Let's see who's more stubborn. The little mutated elephant, use flame collision. Let's collide head on. The flames instantly rose and burned. From a distance, it looked like a small meteorite. Then it started up and quickly crashed into the oncoming ladder. Crushed without any suspense, without even the impact of fighting Flash Karakara, ladder was instantly knocked down. Ding, the little mutated elephant used flame collision, and the effect was remarkable. Ding, the little mutated elephant defeated ladder. The level improved, and the points were plus 22. Liu Xin looked at the remaining Abo Monster and Team Rocket members. He smiled and said, "Come on, my experience package. How can I let you go?" Killing directly towards the Abo Monster and Team Rocket members in front of them. Daddy shook her head and said, "No, don't." Abo, the two of them, and their Pokémon were shocked and instantly disappeared. Ding, the little mutated elephant used fireballs, and the effect was remarkable. Ding, the little mutated elephant defeated the Abo Monster, and its level increased, with points plus 23. Little mutated elephant, level 18. The upgrade speed is really fast, but the little mutated elephant in front of me doesn't seem to have a very good temper. Just after the battle, he started to stare at Liu Xin angrily. His eyes were full of resentment and dissatisfaction, and fireballs would shoot out at any time. "No, brother, calm down. We have something to talk about. Interrupting your spell casting and arresting you like this is not my intention. Believe me. No, Flash Karakara, come out to protect me." Karakara came out. Not only did it not help the mutated little elephant, but it also encouraged it. Kara, little elephant. After the two Pokémon communicated, they became more determined to mutate elephant in order to manipulate Liu Xin. Fireballs were continuously fired, causing Liu Xin to run away in embarrassment. Why are both Pokémon so unruly? Don't talk about Shining Karakara developing antibodies against fire. If this continues, I will have to develop Iron Head Kung Fu and fire resistance. A week. Liu Xin and his two Pokémon challenged wild Pokémon everywhere. In addition to resting and building relationships, they were on the road to challenge Pokémon every day. Ding, Flash Karakara defeated Killer Bee. Level up, points plus 26. Ding, the mutated little elephant defeated Bibi Bird. His level increased, and his points were plus 26. Flash Karakara, level 16 mutated little elephant, level 20. The reason why the mutated little elephant is more advanced is that this guy is too restless. It goes around making enemies. When it sees a green caterpillar, it has to provoke a group of them. When you see a Spearow, you won't stop until the entire group is wiped out. This increase in experience points surprised Flash Karakara. The Flash Karakara is still 14 levels away from evolving, while the mutated elephant is a bit strange. The experience value is stuck at level 20. It hasn't changed, and the whole body is hot. It's been a long time since we defeated Team Rocket. Why does the mutated little elephant still look like this? Take out the system and explore the attributes of the mutated little elephant in front of you. Mutated little elephant, level 20. You can evolve into Dungear at level 30, but because of the mutation, you need a Firestone to complete the evolution. Attack 230 special attack, 270 defense, 230 special defense, 200 speed, 65 trays, hidden sand. Dodge rate increases in sandstorm weather and will not be affected by the loss of physical strength in sandstorm weather. Mutant feature, armor piercing fire, ignoring all defenses, skill defense, body defense or shields, etc. can be easily burned by this flame, dealing damage proportional to the special attack. Skills: Earth Thorn, Flame Jet, Fireball, Earthquake, Impact. The little elephant itself can evolve normally. Unexpectedly, the mutated little elephant needs a specific item such as the Firestone to complete its evolution. As for where to find the Firestone, there must be something in the system, but the Firestone is not a particularly rare item in this world. You can still accumulate points, and you don't have to waste them as soon as you get them. Forget it, I can't solve anything by myself. Just go to Job and City and ask someone. The mutated little elephant's body was getting hotter and hotter, and Liu Xin didn't dare to let it out casually, so he planned to go to the Viridian Forest and ask where the Firestone was. However, when he was almost out of the Viridian Forest, the grass in front of him started to move again. Who? Many trainers walked out, including a familiar figure, Itokuro. "Hey, Ziohei, I'm really lucky to see you here." When Itohei heard Liu Xin's voice, he turned around, said hello, and exchanged a few words. Then, He sent out an invitation. I wasn't convinced by you defeating me before, so I've been training Pokémon recently, and the Vulpix I recently caught needs a Firestone to complete its evolution. Now look for the special energy area. Maybe there's a Firestone there. Special energy area? Although I don't know where it is, as long as there is a Firestone, everything will be easy. The destination is the same, and there seems to be a master among Itagiro's group. In this way, this trip will be safer. Okay, I'm planning to go there, but I don't know the route yet. If Zioheli leads the way, he will definitely get twice the result with half the effort, and will be of great help as a leader. From the fat man, Zayu looked at Liu Xin arrogantly. Newcomer, how's your strength? We don't need a burden on our team. Liu Xin felt very unhappy when he was provoked and said coldly, then you can come and try to see if I'm a burden. Well, let me see how much you weigh. Come out, Heluga, and burn this ignorant existence in front of you. There are light grey bone-like objects surrounding the neck and back, including 3 on the back, and a grey round bulge in the center of the neck. It looks very ferocious, like a hellhound, and has an inexplicable intimidating effect. All the information and data about it appeared in Liu Xin's eyes. Heluga, level 26 attack, 110 special attack, 120 another existence that relies more on skill output. The fire and evil attributes are very easy to solve, whether you let the mutant elephant or the Flash Karakura fight. However, the little mutated elephant is now in an unstable state, and it is obviously impossible to fight. The decision is up to you, Flash Karakura. Beat the dog in front of you until stars shine in your eyes. Heluga was obviously irritated and looked cruel. The flashing Karakura threatened to show its teeth, but these threats were like passing clouds and in vain. Shiny Karakura yawned, not caring about this guy. It was weaker than the Pokémon he had tried before in the forest. Kara, provocation, disdain. This attitude and words directly angered Heluga in front of him, and he directly spewed flames. Hey, why did you do it yourself? Forget it. Spray flames continuously. Use the cloudy mist and then the lightning needle. Others. The outstanding effect. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8, showing your hands and feet. With multiple elemental attacks at the same time, the mixed damage is not low. Sure enough, Pokémon of multiple types are much more powerful than Pokémon of a single type. Now you can see how bright the future is for Flash Karakura. Perfect avoidance. Flash Karakura has experience in many battles, and it is still very easy to dodge these attacks. The combat armor function is also activated, and the small stones on the body begin to accumulate, slowly increasing the defense. However, the other part is black mist seems to be not simple, and continues to spread. As long as it is shrouded in black mist, lightning will continue to attack the inside, causing more or less paralysis. Then, its perfect evasion. Combat armor will be interrupted. Liu Xin looked at the black mist spreading in front of him and shouted, rotate your bones and remove this black mist. Flash Karakura began to act, waving the bone stick in his hand, to form a small windmill. The wind and waves begin to spin, but will it be so smooth? Yuta smiled slightly and said, you want to remove my black mist? Like the Hellwalker Kuruga, use purgatory to burn their souls. The flames began to spread through the black mist. The power directly strengthens, and the momentum rushes towards the bright Karakura surrounding it from all directions. The originally fiery red flames turned dark black, which was very beautiful. Perfect avoidance. But it's too late now. Purgatory has surrounded the entire area. How to dodge? Liu Xin made a quick decision. Be patient. Endure everything. With fire resistant and the defensive advantage of patience, Flash Karakura can definitely withstand it. Although defense is not its strong point. I have caught you. Burn and devour. Destroy and perish in purgatory. Flashing Karakura enveloped himself like a stone, resisting the endless purgatory. Although Purgatory is different from ordinary flames, most of it is made up for by Flash Karakura's fire attribute resistance. Thus, he was able to maximize the patient's skill. The bone and surrounding rods were slowly covered with gravel, which began to increase defense and physical attack. Hahaha, are you defeated? To be on the safe side, Heluga gives it the final blow, bite. Heluga bared his fangs, showing the ferocity of a ferocious dog. His eyes were full of disdain, as if he was repaying the mockery at the beginning. Approaching step by step, the bite almost reached the front of flashing Karakura, but it remained motionless. Itohidu was a little anxious. Liu Xin, is your flash Karakura not working anymore? Bring him in for treatment quickly. You should know that Heluga's Purgatory is a very terrifying flame, and can cause continuous damage to Pokémon. If you add stings, it will be life-threatening. Flames burn all the time. Unfortunately, Liu Xin has it here too. And this continuous burning flame is even more terrifying than the so-called Heluga Purgatory. The corners of Liu Xin's mouth raised, and when he saw that the bite had almost completely engulfed the Flash Karakura, he shouted, "Now, attack!" The Flash Karakura, which had been motionless, suddenly began to move. The bone stick he held tightly in his hand was wrapped in gravel, and his physical attack was directly broken by 250. This stick was deadly. Ding! Flash Karakura attacked Heluga, and the effect was remarkable. Heluga was instantly knocked down, drooling, and hit the ground several times before stopping. On the other hand, Flash Karakura only had a few burns on his body and the wounds were not very serious. Itaguro and Juta didn't know what to say. So insensitive? Is this shiny Karakura made of iron? Any Pokémon burned by Purgatory will definitely be extremely painful, unless the level difference is too great. But Flash Karakura is not as advanced as Black Lugia. What the hell is going on? Black Lugia screamed in a daze, and hit him with a stick, until he was so stunned that he couldn't find his direction, east, west, north, or south. If it were a fighting Pokémon, he could perform a series of drunken fists at this rate. Kiruga, wake up. Have you been dizzy for a long time? You don't obey orders at all. Yuta was a little impatient, and started to worry. Liu Xin sneered, and Yundan Feng said lightly, go and finish him off. Send him home with a magnificent boomerang. Flash Karakura hit the ground with the bone stick again to declare his victory. How could Heluga resist in such a situation? He was instantly killed by a boomerang hit. Ding! Flash Karakura defeated Heluga and gained a lot of experience, points plus 26. It's still a bit difficult to level up and requires a lot of experience points. The main thing is that as you get closer to evolution, you need more experience. Looking at Kiruga, who was unconscious, Yuta felt a little unhappy. But the most powerful and proud Pokémon is the Heluga in front of him, and calling out other Pokémon is simply embarrassing. He could only say angrily, you are amazing, I'm convinced. You can join our expedition team. Itaguro said a little excitedly, so Yuta is one of the strongest in the team, and you actually defeated him. It's too strong. I just don't know when my little fire horse will evolve. Liu Xin looked at him and saw that he was almost at the evolutionary level, and then said with a smile, it's almost there, as long as you work harder. Let's follow the Great Army to see that special area first. Don't get lost. Go back. The Flash Karakura was withdrawn, and Itoheri followed Liu Xin and the large army into Viridian Forest again. Deep into Viridian Forest. There are indeed many unexplored places in Viridian Forest, but rookie trainers will only wander around the outside for the purpose of testing. As for the depths, only trainers with a certain strength will enter. This seems to be the case now. Indescribable burning hot feeling. Not only was the surface temperature high, but the interior seemed to be scorched. Gotha duck, lower the temperature of these little ones. Trainers who can't resist leave first, otherwise it will be even hotter when they reach the core area as soon as the team leader, Gotha Duck, comes. I used various water skills to cool the team down, but it's only temporary and will soon evaporate. Therefore, if you really want to continue going down, you have determination and perseverance. Itaguro said excitedly. The little fire horse seems to be very excited. I decided to continue. Release all the Pokémon. It's strange that the mutated little elephant no longer radiates heat in this place, but instead feels like enjoying it. Little elephant Liu Xin looked at the mutant little elephant who was enjoying it, shook his head helplessly, and said, "It seems that this place is really a geomantic treasure land for fire-type Pokémon. I hope it can evolve smoothly. Flash Karakura has fire resistance, but there is no big problem." Chapter 9 Extraterrestrial Meteorites. Even if you start to come into contact with these flames, you might be able to develop a fire attribute. After all, in the world of Pokémon the possibilities are endless. Sure enough, the closer to the core area, the higher the temperature will be. Flash Karakura, who had fire resistance, could barely hold on any longer and his entire body began to smoke. Visible flames began to burn on his body, which looked very ominous. Kara, are you really okay?" Itagiro asked Liu Xin with some worry. He could only sigh and said, he even said he didn't want to enter the Pokéball. "What can I do? Maybe I can get it. What a secret." Gotha Duck's cry made everyone look over and finally saw the source of the heat. "I thought it was lava or something magical, but I didn't expect it to be a small stone. It's not as big as Liu Xin's fist." That's it? Can this stone emit such a terrifying heat wave? Who would believe it if they didn't see it with their own eyes? The team leader whispered, "This is not an ordinary stone, but a meteorite." Actually, a lot of strange phenomena have appeared all over the world recently, including mutations, rebirths, and fusions. All kinds of strange phenomena have appeared. It seems that they are all related to the meteorite in front of me, except for the meteorite itself. It also has properties. For example, the piece in front of me should be a meteorite with a fire attribute. The investigation of the cause is complete. The so-called special zone is due to this fire attribute of the meteorite. The team leader smiled and said, "You don't have to be depressed. It's very beneficial to practice fire Pokémon here. Don't ignore the blessings. Practice well in this place because of the meteorites. There are some ordinary stones around that are also contaminated with many fire attributes and become firestones, and firestones are not difficult to obtain here." Liu Xin casually picked up a few pieces. It won't take long for the little mutated elephant to use these things. At this moment, the little mutated elephant was absorbing the power of the fire attribute here. It ran around chasing the bursting flames, making it very noisy. This was completely different from the lifeless appearance before, and the experience value actually began to slowly increase. There is drama, so you need to practice combat here to improve your experience. Hey, let's duel. Only the battle between Pokémon can make you stronger. Keep it up. Itohei nodded and said, "Okay, I have a hunch too, my little fire horse. Get ready to evolve." Liu Xin and Itohei were fighting, but many people were also starting to fight. They train each other, and the results are very obvious. As for one of the outliers, it is Flash Karakura. He stood motionless around the meteorite, absorbing the flames with his body. He held his breath and concentrated. He gradually got used to the smoke all over his body, and his flame resistance improved to a higher level. There may not be much change in the final Flash Karakura, but he will definitely be able to withstand 10,000 fires. Yuta was very unhappy and said, "No wonder he can withstand Kuruga's purgatory." It turns out that the fire resistance is very good. This is a miscalculation on my part. Unfortunately, I only have one Kuruga. This place is meaningless. The team leader shouted, "Trainers, be careful and don't get close to the meteorite. Trainers who want to return, just leave with me. The temperature will be lower at night, so it won't be. It's impossible to stay here. I wish you all a happy practice." The people who left walked away. As for the mutated little elephant, the more it fights here, the more excited it becomes, and its experience points also increase. The little fire horse is also constantly improving, and is only one step away from evolution. As for Flash Karakura, it is still practicing. Flash Karakura is still absorbing the heat waves emitted by meteorites. Not only is its resistance to flames increasing, but its appearance is also gradually beginning to change. There is no guarantee that a mutation will occur. Liu Xin is still looking forward to it in her heart. If Flash Karakura mutates, It may have an additional fire attribute. Then shiny Karakura does not need to worry about grass type Pokémon. Fire Horse. With a long roar, the little fire horse transformed, finally completing its evolution and transforming into a fire horse. However, after this sound fell, the meteorite in front of me slowly changed, and an unprecedented feeling of heat hit my face. Liu Xin seemed to hear an explosion, and even the ground trembled several times. What's going on? Is there an earthquake? Why is the ground starting to burst into flames? The trainers here began to panic. But as a special energy area, how could no one pay attention to it? A relatively powerful leader shouted, "Don't panic, retreat in an orderly manner. After all, we don't know much about the meteorites in the sky. We have no idea what happened, so don't come closer or stay any longer." The trainer began to back away, while the ground trembled more and more violently. Liu Xin did not move. Itohei climbed onto the fire horse and shouted, "Liu Xin, what are you doing? If you don't leave now, will you wait until the ground here completely cracks?" A heavy face flashed. Karakura is still practicing. I can't interrupt it. This is a chance for her and me. Quickly leave with the large group. I'll wait until the last moment. Don't worry, nothing will happen to me. The surrounding flames erupted, scaring the blazing horse. It was originally a training ground for fire-type Pokémon, but now it has turned into a terrifying purgatory. There was a sea of fire all over the place, and the cracks on the ground became more and more terrifying. The leader shouted, "That trainer, get out of here. This is no longer a training area. There is danger at any time." Liu Xin ignored him until the last moment. No matter what happens, can't take a step back. Indeed, Flash Karakura has reached the critical moment. His entire body is engulfed in flames, and a faint golden flame appears in the bone area. The flames directly engulfed the entire area, repelling the leader. He cursed, "Damn it, what happened to make this happen? Why? Since you asked the question sincerely, we will tell you with mercy. Protect the peace of the world, and implement love and true evil, the cute and lovely villains. Ichiro Daichi and Sunday Masami, we are the rockets traveling through the galaxy. The white hole, the white tomorrow awaits us." Looking at the Team Rocket submerged in the sea of fire, said with an ugly face, "I didn't expect it to be you. Damn Team Rocket. No, the fire is too strong. We can't get in." As for Daichi and Masami, they were wearing super fire resistant clothing. Although you can't freely go in and out inside, at least you won't get burned. Soon, their eyes fell on the alien meteorite and said excitedly, "As expected, detonating a bomb on it can cause chaos in the entire area. When the time comes, we will place this alien meteorite in the center of the forest." Then a large sea of fire forms, and a group of Pokémon are trapped and unable to get out. Shouldn't we catch them in large numbers? Chapter 10, The Edge of Life and Death. Liu Xin heard the sound and looked up. It turns out that Team Rocket is plotting something, but my body can't withstand the high temperature. Even if the outer skin doesn't burn, they will die due to lack of oxygen. To have an effect, turn on the system and see if there is any effect. Liu Xin was shocked when he opened the system mall. There are too many high-tech gadgets inside, such as spaceships, attack weapons, flying skateboards, etc. As for the rocket's fire retardant suits, everyone has them, but they are different. They are lighter and more advanced. Fire retardant gauze. It can be redeemed with 300 points and can be used permanently. It has top-notch fire resistance. The most important thing is that it is comfortable and easy to wear. Fortunately, I leveled up a week early and saved up a lot of points. After deducting 300 points, Liu Xin still has 200 points left. Liu Xin joked, "You can hardly be considered a rich man, right? Ground-type Pokémon can't fly. I'll have to get a spaceship when the time comes. If that doesn't work, I'll just fly a skateboard." The fire retardant gauze is just a small vest. When used indoors, it feels completely different. The flame is automatically ignited, and it also has a breathing purification system inside, which can convert carbon dioxide to prevent oxygen deficiency. It's just that the conversion speed is very slow. If you don't quickly move away from the high temperature area of the flame, you will suffocate sooner or later. Flash Karakura still understands, but the last thing is missing. and the flames are about to spread all over his body. Liu Xin clenched his fists and said, "Work harder. Although I won't be burned to death now, I'm still not safe." Masamichuan and Daddy soon discovered Liu Xin in the sea of fire and laughed loudly. "What a fate. I can see you little demon here. Look at that flash Karakura. Is it absorbing fire? It's definitely a super Pokémon. Tame him now." After they finished speaking, a small robot slowly walked in. It locked directly on Flash Karakura and the mechanical voice spread out, "The target is determined. Begin capturing Flash Karakura." The mechanical hands instantly stretched out and grabbed Flash Karakura. Team Rocket's technological strength is really strong. This robot is actually very resistant to fire. Little mutant elephant, the decision is yours. As soon as the little mutated elephant came out, the flames all over its body instantly burned, resonating with the surrounding fireballs. Special energy area, fire damage is doubled. Liu Xin was overjoyed when she heard the system prompt. The little mutated elephant's special attack is abnormal. Now with the blessing of fire attribute, wouldn't it be even more amazing? As soon as you act, you will know whether it is there or not. Fireball. The fireball that is normally condensed is the size of a fist, but now it has doubled in size and is slightly larger than the head. Boom. At the same time, 3 or 4 fireballs shot out and accurately landed in the robot's range. The sound kept coming. Daddy laughed and said, "It's useless. It's useless. You know, our fire-resistant robots are most afraid of fire attribute skills. No matter how you attack, it will be in vain. Unless you use other attributes, skills, otherwise, etc." The mutated little elephant seems to have not only fire attributes. After Daddy finished speaking, she realized that something was wrong. But it's too late. Liu Xin raised the corner of her mouth and said, "Thank you very much." A small earthquake. Caca. The place where the robot was instantly opened, directly swallowing it and making it unable to move. Earth thorn. Pieces of small gravel gathered together, and soon sharp earth thorns were suspended around the little elephant. With an order, they all flew out. A mutated little elephant with full special attack damage, and the damage of the earth thorns is really extraordinary. After this attack, many places began to suffer damage, and electric currents appeared. Core Masami panicked and shouted, "It's all your fault. Who asked you to report your defects? Okay, we don't have this fire-resistant robot. How can we catch Pokémon? The little mutant elephant. It also has earthly attributes. Take away the meteorite and retreat strategically." They began to retreat, seeing where the little mutant elephant was. But will they be able to get close to the meteorite? The baby mutant elephant wouldn't agree either. Little elephant. Earth spikes and fireballs hit Daichi and Core Masami at the same time. No, no. Little Gitao, remember this for us. He was shocked, and the fire-resistant robot was also destroyed at the same time. As for the surrounding flames, they are reaching their climax, with lava everywhere and sparks sizzling. Liu Xin felt very bad and shouted, "The little mutated elephant, wrap us up with earth spikes. These fires are no joke, we must not be hit." The entire area was shaking, almost like an erupting volcano. It was very scary. The little mutated elephant directly turned the earth spikes into a screen to protect Liu Xin and Flash Karakura. Flames began to splash everywhere and hit the thorns on the ground, making them feel as if they were about to melt at any moment. The mutated baby elephant struggled to fight back, and its face looked a little painful and uncomfortable. "Hold on. Make sure to hold on." The little mutated elephant's slender body glowed with a dazzling earth yellow glow, and it tried its best to resist these flames. Bang! Finally, with a loud noise, the burst of flames completely disappeared. Although it seems like a long time, it has actually been less than 5 minutes. But within 5 minutes, the area had been completely burnt, and not a single blade of grass grew in its path. The thorns on the ground scattered, and the little mutated elephant couldn't hold on any longer, and fell into a coma. Feeling the anxiety in the air, Liu Xin felt as if he was surviving a disaster. If the little mutant elephant hadn't had a powerful special attack and the spikes of condensed earth weren't thick enough, the sea of fire would have swallowed it. It seems that the last word is, "That Pokémon are strong, but this time you really killed me. But now it's safe. You can continue to understand it." There is no longer any fire attribute aura in the area. That has calmed down. In addition to the fire stones that fell to the ground, there were 10 of them. There should have been a lot just now, but they were all swallowed. When the time comes to evolve and mutate the little elephant, it will be better to have more of this than too little. Walking further, the meteorite in the center has become dim. There is no longer any fire attribute breath inside it. It's almost like an ordinary stone. And it's so ugly that it has no collection value. Did the big explosion just squeeze out all its value? It seems to be the case now. Everything has its limits, and this alien meteorite is no exception. It has completely exhausted its internal energy, and is not even as good as an ordinary stone. Liu Xin no longer paid attention to the meteorites, because Flash Karakara had finally completed his practice. Kara. A sharp cry rang out, and a wave of heat swept over, causing Liu Xin, who was wearing a fireproof gauze, to feel a little hot. It seems that this kid has improved in all aspects. You have finally come out of seclusion. Let me see what changes you have made. Chapter 11 Catching the Big Rock Snake. I finally came out of seclusion successfully. I almost lost my life here just to wait for you. How arrogant. There must be big changes. Let me take a look. Flash Karakara. The information is very clear. Flash Karakara level 17. Level 30 Gala Gala Evolution. Attack 258 Special Attack 210 Defense 190 Special Defense 167 Speed 121 Characteristics. Hardhead, Lightning Rod, Perfect Fire Resistance, regardless of any fire attribute skills, against Flash Karakara cannot cause damage, and can be absorbed, and turned into its own special attack. Flash Characteristics, Combat Armor Skills, Boomerang, Resistance, Ground Stimulus, Impact, Perfect Evasion. Liu Xin saw this, and found that the special attack has been greatly improved, and the resistance of the characteristics the nature of fire was directly improved. Perfect fire resistance. This is a very abnormal characteristic, and is completely the nemesis of fire-type Pokémon. Now Shiny Karakara can walk sideways when seeing any fire-type Pokémon. Even the old man will have a headache. Although Flash Karakara does not have fire attributes, the gray-green surface has a slightly deeper red, making it even more attractive. This is also a symbol of fire resistance. Kara. He was now very proud, and the bone club in his hand began to wave again. Liu Xin very skillfully avoided it and said bitterly, "Brother, I told you, don't celebrate with me like that in the future. I think someone will die from this bone club." While they were chatting, the sound of horse hooves came. Itohei immediately ran over on a burning horse, looking anxious and worried. After seeing Liu Xin, he quickly stepped forward and said, "Are you okay? I really got scared to death just now. It was like a volcano erupting. It was very scary. It's a miracle that you survived." With Liu Xin, after making sure that everything was okay, he took a deep breath. Except that his clothes were a little tattered. Nothing happened to him. "I'm a little curious now. How did you survive in such a huge flame? It seems very scary to me from a distance, and I will definitely die if I come here." And almost Itagiro was not surprised. If the little mutated elephant hadn't used the earth thorn, it would have been very unlucky this time. When everyone arrived, they all looked at Liu Xin with strange eyes. This guy's too lucky. Because of the meteorite and the appearance of Team Rocket, Miss Junsha called Liu Xin and ran here to record a confession. After recording the confession, Liu Xin was completely free. It's really tiring. Miss Junsha just didn't believe what I said, so she finally took out 3 fire stones to solve the problem. The nurse sister handed the little mutated elephant to Liu Xin with a smile and said softly, "This little mutated elephant is very healthy and in good physical condition. So, trainer, you need to be more careful." After the battle, both the baby mutant elephant and the Flash Karakara were sent for treatment. He is now full of energy and seems ready to fight at any time. Instead of taming Pokémon, he simply conquered the huge mountain range between Shinshin Town and Viridian City by means of 2 crazy fighters. The sun was shining high and the sun was shining on the ground, which was very hot. Liu Xin here directs Flash Karakara and the little mutated elephant to cheat. He wants to tame his third Pokémon, Rock Snake. Here, among the huge mountains, the most powerful and representative Pokémon is the Rock Snake. Moreover, because the attributes here are so strong, the size and combat power of the large rock snakes here are greater than those of ordinary large rock snakes. Every time the ground shakes, it means that the large rock snake is moving its body. I couldn't appreciate how big it was when I saw it on TV, but now that I look at it, I find it terrifying. It is made up of multiple huge grey rocks, resembling a snake, and the rocks become smaller and smaller from the middle to the tail. It has a rock horn on the top of its head and a pair of black eyes below. The most important thing is that the length is more than 8.8 meters. The weight is immeasurable, and it feels extremely heavy. Looking at it from a distance, there is a strong sense of oppression. Liu Xin took a deep breath and carefully used the system to observe the large rock snake in front of him. To say that my heart is not shocked would be a lie. Let me see which large rock snake is easier to bully. No, it is easier to catch. The large rock snakes here are ridiculously mixed. There are some at level 10, some at level 20, and some even approaching level 30. They are about to evolve into a large steel snake. Liu Xin directly chose to give up on the big rock snake that was above level 20. After all, he himself might not be able to defeat it, and the level was too high. In fact, if you train it, your potential is limited. It is better to train it from a lower level. This is the best. But soon, a level 13 big rock snake caught his attention. At first glance, I was attracted by its enormity. It was larger than any other big rock snake present, one latitude wide and more than 10 meters long. It looked much stronger than those big rock snakes that were about to evolve. The choice is yours. Who can refuse such a big Pokémon? It seems very confident. Tough. The combat effectiveness must be quite long-lasting. Flash Karakura was sent out, and the bone club in his hand began to act. Boomerang. Ding dong. There was a loud sound, and the slowly walking big rock snake stopped. It slowly turned around, and met the small, shiny Karakura below. Kara. He hit the bone stick directly, to launch a unique Karakura provocation. The big rock snake that didn't care at all started to feel unhappy. How dare you provoke me? Look how I beat you. Throwdown. The tail whipped from a distance, covering the sky as far as shining Karakura could see. Start acting according to the designated plan. Flash Karakura might not be able to compare to Big Rock Snake in terms of strength, but needless to say in terms of speed. Boom. The skill was simply exhausted, making Big Rock Snake even more unhappy. Looking at the escaping Flash Karakura, his eyes were full of disgust. He moved his body and started chasing Big Rock Snake. The roar followed the movement of the body, and the entire mountain began to tremble, almost like a small earthquake. Liu Xin looked at the place where the opponent crossed, and said with lingering fear, "What a terrifying size." The Flash Karakura and the mutated little elephant waited for the Big Rock Snake, and at the same time, made provocative movements and words. Kara, little elephant. Can this be tolerated? The Big Rock Snake roared furiously, and moved its entire body forward quickly. Boom. Before the Big Rock Snake could react, it fell into a deep pit, and was slightly stunned. This is the trap that Liu Xin had prepared. Digging pits is his specialty, and in order to catch the giant rock snake, it took him and two Pokémon an entire afternoon to dig this large pit that was more than 20 meters deep. So, the next step is to close the door, beat the dog, and start attacking. Use your strongest means, and don't let it react. The Big Rock Snake knows dadding skills, and can easily escape from the big pit. Flash Karakura, Mutation Little Elephant springs into action. Their rapid attacks still made this Big Rock Snake feel quite uncomfortable. The Big Rock Snake gradually became scarred, but its eyes were filled with anger and resentment. More and more rocks were piling up on its body, and it was obvious that it had been using hardening as a defense. Mountain slide. The moment Flash Karakura and the mutated little elephant broke loose, the entire area began to tremble, and Big Rock Snake's special move began to be unleashed indiscriminately. Chapter 12 Test Challenge. The Big Rock Snake launched an indiscriminate attack, and the lethality was naturally terrifying. But do you think Flash Karakura and mutated little elephant are vegetarians? Moreover, the level gap between the three of them is also there. Flash Karakura, use the boomerang. The final blow is dealt by Flash Karakura, who has terrifying physical attacks. Moreover, this boomerang also has a stunning effect, so it is definitely the best way to use it to capture the big rock snake. Kara. Flash Karakura did not hesitate at all. The bone boomerang in his hand directly smashed a pile of rocks and hit the big rock snake hard. Mutated little elephant uses earth thorns to protect Flash Karakura. So even if Flash Karakura does not have the bone stick, it will not be too dangerous. Boom. The effect of the bone rod was very obvious. It directly knocked down the big rock snake and caused the rock fall to stop instantly. Fortunately, we thickened the surrounding ground in advance, otherwise we would have been knocked down and escaped in no time. It's time to conquer my third Pokémon. He throws the Pokeball in his hand directly and smashes it steadily. The head of a medium-sized rock snake. Ding, a crisp sound rang out, and the huge rock snake of more than 10 meters was instantly captured in the Pokémon Ball. Because the giant rock snake has fallen into a coma, the success rate of capture is very high. It only trembled a few times, and then calmed down. The third Pokémon, Giant Rock Snake, was successfully captured. Liu Xin looked at the Pokémon Ball in his hand, and felt that a day had passed in vain. He returned to Joban City to rest, and set off for Nabi City the next day. Itaguro also set off with him. Itaguro said in surprise, "Me too, my first goal is the gym battle in Nabi City." So, but in a gym with mainly ground attributes, it's very difficult for you to win. After all, Itaguro currently has 3 Pokémon, 2 of which are fire type and 1 is normal type. Although the Fire Horse and the Ninetales are very strong, their attribute disadvantages are there. Even if you don't believe me, I will definitely be the first to get the badge when the time comes. Liu Xin just smiled and didn't say anything. The two of them soon crossed the street and found that there were more and more stone sections. It seems that Nabi City is just around the corner. After all, this is a quiet city among mountains and rugged rocks. If there are no rocks in sight, that would be the strangest place. This is Nabi City. It's much more lively than before. There are trainers everywhere, and ground-type Pokémon can be seen everywhere. It seems that in a few years, this small deserted town has been developing little by little. The mayor of Nabi City is Xiaogang, as they know him well. After bidding farewell to Xiaozi, he returned to Nabi City because he had grown in age and experience in all aspects. Becoming the mayor is highly expected, and Xiaogang also leads and guides the revitalization of Nabi City. So who is the current Nabi gym leader? The same family member of Xiaogang is his younger brother, Jiro. It is said that Xiaogang's mother, Xiaomi, came back from practice, and after defeating his father's martial arts, she changed the gym to a water and rock dual attribute gym. And because Wuneng and Xiaomi did not have the spirit to be a gym leader, Xiaogang passed the mastery of the gym to his younger brother Jiro. Jiro is also the successor of the water and rock dual attributes. Come here. If you want to challenge Jiro, the gym master, you must first pass these tests. Sustain the attacks of these 2 Pokémon for 3 minutes. Liu Xin looked on, suddenly feeling a little numb. Is this going to last for 3 minutes? A level 30 Rumblestone and a level 30 Shakiras. Both of them are very powerful beings. In addition, their levels are very high, and their combat prowess cannot be underestimated. Either of them has more than 300 pairs of attack and defense. If you want to defeat them, it is simply an illusion. 10 people will be tested at a time. Let's register. Registering is very simple. You only need to pay a certain amount of money and prove that you have 3 or more Pokémon. This test is mainly because there are too many people challenging every day, so we have to select first so as not to challenge too many trainers. Liu Xin and Itaguro were assigned to a group, and there were 8 other people around them. In front of him are the powerful Rumblestones and Shakiras. They seemed to have long since become accustomed to the battle and training in front of them, and were yawning in boredom. However, the trainer's Pokémon were very unhappy and began to provoke these 2 powerful Pokémon. Itaguro sacrificed his fiery horse, while Liu Xin let his big rock snake appear. As soon as this guy came out, it was really eye-catching. With its 10-meter long body, it was strange that it didn't attract people. Let me go, we haven't seen each other for just a day, and you subdued the giant rock snake? Isn't this very terrifying and rare among rock snakes? All the trainers around him also had this idea. Even Longstone and Shakaris in front of them seriously looked at the huge rock snake. It wasn't high level, but was full of oppression. Big rock snake. It showed its power as it came out, fiercely staring at the two Pokémon in front of it without any fear. A big rock snake takes up 1/5 of the field, showing how terrifying this thing is. Challenge begins. 3-minute countdown. The special ability of ground-type and rock-type Pokémon, causing the ground to instantly crack. The ground shook, and with the blessing of the two, the tremor of the earthquake was even more terrifying. Not only that, there are many earth thorns inside that stab at the same time, which is extremely dangerous hard. The entire body of the big rock snake is covered in a light silver grey color, like steel, and it looks very hard. The earth thorn hit it, but it did not cause much damage. As for the earthquake, it did not have much impact on its huge body. In terms of defense, Big Rock Snake is simply ridiculously abnormal. As for Itohen's fiery horse, it felt a little uncomfortable and began to dodge. It also had to use skills from time to time to resist, otherwise it would really not be able to dodge these horrible attacks. Trainers began to fall around it. The lethality of the earth thorns may not be very great, but what if there are more? Button, whose defense was quite good, was directly knocked down by the earth thorn, and then instantly killed by the earthquake. Those Pokémon will die if they are not careful at all. The time will come soon. Liu Xin and Itaguro were both qualified to challenge, but only 3 of the remaining 8 people were qualified to challenge. Itaguro let out a long sigh. Several waves are really dangerous. If it weren't for the time limit, my fiery horse would probably fall into them. But you, a huge rock snake, are really scary. You can do it. You don't move even in the face of such an existence. Like a mountain. Liu Xin smiled lightly. You have to be careful later so as not to get the grey metal. Chapter 13. The First Battle, the Terror of the Great Rock Serpent. After Itaguro joked with Liu Xin for a while, the owner of the restaurant slowly appeared in everyone's eyes. Xianagang's younger brother Jero is actually about the same age as them this year, that is, 15 or 16 years old. Jero was forced to inherit the gym and become its leader. But his strength itself is not weak, and when fighting against multiple trainers, his Pokémon is stronger than any other Pokémon of the same type. Therefore, as the owner of the museum, it is not easy to bully him. Hello, fellow trainers. First of all, I would like to welcome you all from afar. Anabi City is now in the development stage. It is very interesting, whether it is for sightseeing or playing. If you don't mind, you can do so. And you guys, the purpose of coming here is very clear. It is to compete with me in the gym. To put it simply, the minimum is 3 Pokémon and the maximum is 6 Pokémon, and I will bring out the corresponding number of Pokémon. As long as you win more games than me, you will win. If there is a tie, you will win. Then, let's start with the problem. Challenge in order. The first one is another adventurer, whom they don't know at all. Itaguro pondered. No wonder you need to check the number of Pokémon at the beginning. It turns out that this operation exists. This guy is quite capable. He actually has 5 Pokémon, all of which are grass and flying type. It is very beneficial to deal with Jero this way. However, the reality is cruel. Within 10 minutes, the trainer ran out in despair, without even getting a single victory. Isn't it too perverted? It is impossible to attack at all. The second adventurer entered, the third adventurer entered, and then went to Itohei. After spending a full 20 minutes, Itaguro ran out excitedly. Narrow victory. I got the grey badge. If it weren't for the suppression of my fire horse and Ninetales, I might have been defeated. You have to be very careful with his fossil Pokémon. Those guys are really perverted. Fossil type? It seems to be the Pokémon that was born in the museum. The next challenger is Liu Xin. Jiro moved his body and asked, "Trainer, choose the Pokémon to battle." Jiro also selected 3 Pokémon for a duel. So far, only Itohei took the grey badge from me. Can you do it? It's really exciting. Liu Xin raised the corners of his mouth and said, "I'll finish the battle very quickly, and then get the grey badge." A very confident trainer. Let's begin. Go ahead, Ammonite. Ammonite, level 15 attack. 150 special attack. 200 another Pokémon with a very powerful special attack. Ammonites are both water and rock attributes. It looks almost like a snail, and is very similar to the ammonoid insect from ancient times. It has many blue tentacles, which are more conducive to attacking. It has a very large shell on its back for protection. It is a Pokémon that has both offense and defense. The decision is up to you. Big Rock Snake. When the 10th level Big Rock Snake came out, both Ammonite and Jiro were surprised. Jiro even exclaimed, "My brother and father's Big Rock Snakes aren't that big. Isn't this Big Rock Snake a bit outrageous? It can crush my Ammonite beast with just one tail, right?" Weekly. Then, the game begins now. Big Rock Snake's data was also displayed in front of him. Huge Rock Snake, level 13. Level 30 completes evolution by absorbing a metal film. Attack 180, special attack 140, defense 180, special defense 180, speed 30. Characteristics: hard and solid head. One-hit moves have this characteristic for Pokémon as invalid. Gigantic characteristic: when attacking with physical moves, the defense is reduced and the speed is increased. Skills: rock collapse, impact, hardening, and adjustment. It seems that the gigantic characteristic makes up for the giant rock snake's serious lack of speed. In all aspects, this big rock snake is perfect. Adjusted. The Ammonite beast first began to shrink its entire body. Its defense instantly increased, and its speed also increased. Water gun. A small water gun turned into a sharp blade and attacked the huge rock snake. The power of this blow is not small, but it is insignificant to the huge rock snake. Harden. Adjusted. The big rock snake used two attribute skills at the same time. Steel element appeared on the surface of its skin, and a silver light flashed. The water cannon hit it, but it didn't even break the defense. Big rock snake, use your tail to sweep. The huge rock snake instantly raised its tail, completely blocking the Ammonite beast's sight, and hit it hard. Tear off the sand to confuse the sight, and then shrink the shell to avoid damage. The sand created instantly dispersed. Of course, the Ammonite beast resisted and was not hit, but it was equally uncomfortable, and the impact was very strong. Tough and powerful, this is the terror of the giant rock snake. Serial water cannons. At the same time, several water cannons attacked the huge rock snake. The huge rock snake has indifferent eyes, and its superficial skin will only become stronger and stronger. Ding ding ding. A small stream of water can't hit the huge rock snake at all. Liu Xin decided to kill the opponent instantly with one blow. Falling rock. Use the roll and face it head on. Jiro followed with all his strength. Whether he lost or won, it all depended on this collision. A huge stone condensed in front of the huge rock snake and immediately hit the Ammonite beast like a meteorite. As for the Ammonite beast, it was curled up into a ball, surrounded by small gravel. From a distance, it looked like a small meteorite. The two meteorites attacked simultaneously, one above and one below, and collided fiercely, creating strong winds and waves. Bang! Liu Xin and Jiro were taken back a few steps by the wind and waves, and couldn't open their eyes. Ding! The giant rock snake uses falling rocks to attack the Ammonite beast, and the effect is remarkable. Ding! The Ammonite beast uses rolling to attack the giant rock snake, but the effect is very small. Wait until the smoke clears and the dust settles. The Ammonite beast was instantly killed and unconscious. As for the huge rock snake, he was still relaxed and natural, with a bit of disdain in his eyes. You did a great job. Thank you for your hard work. Jiro took back the Ammonite beast, gave it a few words of encouragement, and started the next game. Jiro said excitedly, "This is much more interesting than the previous game. I hope you are not just a giant rock snake, otherwise it would be boring." The second Pokémon, Fossil Shell, level 20. Attack level 200, special attack 230. It is also a water and rock type Pokémon. It has a brown semi-spherical shell with two black spots on top, which resemble eyes. However, its eyes are not these two, but are hidden in the black area inside, which are large and round. It has a hard shell for protection. It is very similar to the horseshoe crab, known as the living fossil, except that it does not have a sword-shaped tail. Chapter 14. Defeated. Flash Karakura appears. A fossil type Pokémon. Liu Xin looked at the small fossil shell with disdain in his eyes. Jiro just smiled lightly. I know you look down on my fossil shell. Indeed, in the eyes of the giant rock snake, this little guy is very weak, but you will know its terror later. Fossil shell's eyes were full of warlike looks. It is not as weak as it seems. Then let me see if your fossil shell is really that powerful. Liu Xin raised the corners of his mouth and then let the giant rock snake start attacking. I thought it was a crushing battle, but when the battle started, I realized that it was not like that draw. Several small seeds shot out from the shell area of the fossil shell and directly invaded the body of a huge rock snake. This is its ability, which can continuously weaken the opponent's physical strength and gain certain bonuses. Big rock snake. Although it doesn't have much impact on the current giant rock snake, it can still be very uncomfortable. The eyes of the huge rock snake were filled with anger. It was very unhappy with the fossil shell in front of it. It roared and launched an attack. It plans to crush your opponent with one blow. Impact. Its body moved quickly and rushed directly towards the fossil shell. The fossil shell is small but very fast, and it is easy to dodge the attack of the huge rock snake. However, the giant rock snake is not just a simple collision. Its tail is a powerful weapon. Wave your tail. It hit the fossil shell hard. This blow was quite powerful and could easily kill the opponent instantly. Jiro shouted, "Fossil shell, use shrink shell." Sure enough, as long as there is such an existence, defense is not easy. Boom. The giant rock snake seemed a little confused. Its tail hit the opponent's protective shell and bounced back. It was such a strange feeling. Next, you will know how powerful my fossil shell is. Now it's just the tip of the iceberg. The damage caused was little to none. This is what makes Liu Xin and the giant rock snake strangely worried. What's going on? Eyes popped out of the fossil shell again. Although nothing could be seen, there was a vague sense of provocation. However, Liu Xin's Pokémon has a characteristic. It is warlike and short-tempered. Can this be tolerated? The huge rock snake roared and attacked again, and the surrounding ground began to tremble. Liu Xin covered his forehead. You guys should be obedient and not be so impatient, okay? Huge rock snake, use rock avalanche. Boom. The ground began to tremble in all directions, and debris flowed around the huge rock snake, which immediately aimed at the fossil shell and shot out forcefully. The ground around the fossil shell has long since turned into ruins, and blocks of rubble are continuously being shot out. It was literally being attacked from both sides, and the huge rock snake was attacking from all sides. Harden. Shrink the shell. Using two skills at the same time, the fossil shell shrank again, and then the shell turned silver, just like the giant rock snake's hardening. It's just that its hardening looks a little more strange, and there is another layer of light golden protective layer around it. Boom, boom, boom. The sound continued, and all the stones condensed by the rockfall bounced away. Even the gravel that hit the fossil shell couldn't suffer any damage. At the same time, the seeds of the giant rock snake completely sprouted. After absorbing enough of the remaining seeds, they began to germinate. Damn, health points are rapidly dropping. What the hell is this absorption method? You actually ignored defense. The huge rock snake roared, and the plants on its body were absorbed very quickly, giving it no chance to breathe. It lasted for nearly 2 minutes, and the giant rock snake's attack stopped. A huge noise was made, and its huge body fell down, being consumed by the parasitic plants it absorbed. What do you think? This is my fossil shell, a fossil shell with special characteristics. Rebound properties. When Liu Xin opened the system and checked again, the information on the fossil shell was much clearer. Obviously the other party hasn't used this method before, so it can't explore. Rebound tray. The Pokémon remains stationary during this period. This tray provides 30% defense and damage avoidance. It can deflect most attacks, and can last until the end of the battle. No wonder the giant rock snake's attack was deflected. It turned out that it was due to its rebound properties. This feature is really a bit cunning. With it, the defense can be completely improved. Liu Xin was a little envious, so he put away the huge rock snake, and said with interest, "This is interesting. So, I want to see if your defense is better or my attack is better." Flash Karakara. The strongest physical attack and abnormal defense started a direct battle. Kara, Kara, Caracara, holding a bone club, is very combative. After all, he learned a lot in the area of special energy last time and was finally able to show his skills. Slamming the ground again, mocking and provoking. But are the fossil shells as warlike as they are? The direct contempt made Flash Caracara very unhappy. It would be nice if you could be as quiet and obedient as those guys. However, being so loud can show how powerful you are. Use percussion. The fossil shell again uses the rebounding property, retracting into the shell bite. A crisp sound was heard, the Flash Caracara was instantly blocked, and the hand was still a little numb. It's really a troublesome feature, but this completely ignited the spirit of Flash Caracara fight. If one stick doesn't work, use 2 sticks, and hit it until the shell breaks. Extremely cruel. Flash Caracara continued to attack without hesitation, and the intensity of the rebound was also reduced, and in the end it didn't even bounce back. Not good. Jiro felt that something was wrong. The Flash Caracara had adapted to its rebound characteristics. If it continued, the fossil shell would just be a living target. You can't at all sit and wait for death. Fossil shell, use sand brushing. The claws suddenly stretched out, and the rebound properties immediately disappeared. But then came the rolling sand and dust, which directly pushed the Flash Caracara back and confused the line of sight. He escaped from the battlefield and quickly began to adapt. Water jets. The thick water column penetrated the sand and dust, directly killing the Flash Caracara. The skills are connected fluently without pauses, and the experience is very rich. Liu Xin praised. It seems that the battle in the gym has been going on a lot, and I still have some training for your Pokémon. But this is not enough. It's time to end it. He grabbed the bone stick in his hand and smashed it directly into the water column in front of him. Whoops. Directly deflecting the water column, the Flash Caracara walked against the waves without hesitation, breaking through the water column and moving forward bravely. Getting closer and closer to the fossil shell, the fossil shell began to panic. Jiro urgently said, "Get away quickly." "Are you starting to avoid it now?" "Slow." The Flash Caracara split the last drop of water, as close as a ghost. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15 Victory, Grey Metal. Are you thinking of avoiding it now? Too late. Boomerang. Flash Caracara walked over, and the bone club in his hand swung forward without hesitation. The simple bone rod hits the fossil shell with an unstoppable attack force. Get tough. Shrink. They did this at the same time, but it was useless. The bone rod had adapted to bouncing, and couldn't bounce at all. It hits the fossil shell directly and severely, knocking it away. Boom. A dull sound was heard upon landing, and the fossil shell fell to the ground in a coma. The bone club beautifully swung towards Flashing Caracara's hands, with a bit of pride in its eyes. Cara. It uses sounds and movements to declare its victory and strength. It really is a Pokémon that loves to show off. Jiro put away the fossil shell and chuckled. Thank you for your hard work. Good Flash Caracara, your strength is much lower than I thought. Then, let's begin the last game. More pull. Kadora, level 23 attack. 240 special attack. 190 a steel type and rock type Pokémon. It is short in stature, has dark grey skin and sky blue eyes, and is similar to a small ground dragon. The back is covered with several pieces of steel armor. Each piece has a crest protruding in the center and circular holes on both sides. There are several flat protrusions on the lower jaw, and there are only 2 canines in the mouth, but the teeth are extremely sharp. There are a pair of angular straps on each foot. The upper one is dark gray and the lower one is silver. From a distance, it looks like a small armored vehicle. For the first time, a Pokémon with an attack power infinitely close to Shining Caracara. It seems that this guy is a strong enemy. Cara. Flash Caracara senses it and starts with taunting and provocation, showing a strong fighting spirit. Kadora. Not to be outdone, the opponent was also extremely bellicose, with hot air blowing out of its large nostrils. Kadora, use the stone to block it. then use the headbutt. The ground around Flash Karakura began to tremble crazily, and earth spikes appeared everywhere, killing him. Like a prison, it is meant to trap shining Karakura. Flash Karakura will not sit still and wait for death. The bone club in his hand has a strong attack power. Each club has an earth spike and can quickly pierce through. But before he could react, Dora's headbutt had been blocked. Boom. A huge noise was made, and the lightning Karakura was knocked back and fell against the earth wall. Ding. Dora uses the headbutt to attack Flash Karakura, which works well. Flash Karakura jumped off the earth wall, with many scars on his body. After all, defense was not his area of expertise. Kara. It was a provocation again, and the fighting spirit grew even stronger. Liu Xin took a deep breath and shouted, "Of course we can't let the other side look down on us. Let's show them our strength." Karakura nodded, taking a deep breath, and looking at Ghidorah in front of you seriously. I can't give the opponent even the slightest chance to breathe. Rock block, steel claws. Attacking at the same time, the earth spikes appeared again. However, the Flash Karakura at this moment was already different. It was perfectly evasive and fully utilized. Combat armor, open. Debris began to appear all over the body, the bone rod exuded an earthy color, and the attack and defense power began to increase. He continued to dodge, avoiding the earth spike attacks, while avoiding the opponent's steel claws. I almost got hit several times, but the highly concentrated Flash Karakura was no joke and my dodging skills were top notch. Perfect avoidance. Perfect avoidance. Perfect avoidance. Seeing how he dodged, Dora started to feel a little tired and gradually couldn't keep up. Jiro gritted his teeth and said, "Damn it, this Flash Karakura is so fast. We can't lose, and we definitely can't go down like this." Ghidorah, use roar. A harsh sound rang out, and sound waves spread throughout the gymnasium. Flash Karakura's movement suddenly slowed down, and his expression turned ugly. The screams directly seeped into his mind, affecting his nerves, and making him seriously ill. Liu Xin sneered, "That's enough. Flash Karakura's build-up is now complete." Flash Karakura stood still, covered in light gravel, flashing in light yellow, seeming to be wearing armor. But Dora and Jiro thought they had found an opportunity and directly launched headbutts at each other. Flash Karakura stopped hiding, clenched the bone stick in his hand, and his eyes became firm. Smash. The simplest attack, but it exerts a different momentum. The two begin their final showdown. The headbutt and the bone club collided fiercely, making a deafening sound, which was very intimidating. The wind and waves made Liu Xin and Jiro take a step back at the same time, waiting for the smoke and dust to disperse. 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and 30 seconds passed like this. Wow. A bone club was taken out of the smoke, and when he waved it vigorously, all the smoke covering the battlefield disappeared in an instant. In the center of the battlefield, only Flash Karakura was panting. As for Ghidorah, he fainted. In terms of physical attack, Flash Karakura was better. Kara. He roared excitedly, declaring his victory. Liu Xin also felt happy in his heart and hurriedly hugged Flash Karakura. Awesome. Flash Karakura, you did a great job. This time, you can hit me with a bone club to celebrate. Looking in front of him at the scene, Jiro put away the Ghidorah and smiled helplessly. Your Pokémon is so good. Although I haven't seen your third Pokémon, I have recognized your strength. This gray badge belongs to you. Looking at the gray badge in his hand, Flash Karakura screamed and fell into a coma, obviously reaching his limit. Liu Xin put away Flash Karakura and said gratefully, "Thank you for your hard work. I really enjoyed this battle, thank you very much." Jiro waved his hand and said, "Wherever, I can fight with your Pokémon. What are your plans for the future? If you're not in a hurry, you can have fun in Nibi City. After all, Nibi City is experiencing great development now." Liu Xin politely declined. The goal is early. It was decided to challenge the South China Gym and set off later. It's really a pity that you can come to Nibi City at any time. When Otohei saw Liu Xin coming out, he quickly stepped forward and said, "Why are you so like this? Are you coming out soon? Did you fail? It's okay. Failure is the mother of success. Come back next time. Although Liu Xin fought for so long, it only lasted 7 or 8 minutes, which is better than Itohei's. How much faster? Liu Xin didn't say anything. He showed the grey metals he had collected and said proudly, "Do you think I will fail? You underestimate me, the future #1 coach, right?" Chapter 16. Naturally beautiful girl, Axiang Mori. I can't understand it. You really did it. It's unscientific to successfully obtain the grey badge in such a short time. It's really unscientific. Did you use a trap? Think about it. Find out why. He had no choice but to set a goal for himself. When the time comes, he must get the South China City badge faster than Liu Xin. In this way, the two of them were grouped together and abandoned for no apparent reason. Nibi City is indeed a rock-type Pokémon area, and there are rock-type Pokémon everywhere. Liu Xin was also a little cautious, but after all, there was a difference between rock-type and ground-type, so they couldn't be caught. Moreover, his 3 Pokémon are not weak enough to use and practiced Tsukimiyama. Well deserved its name. There are Pippi everywhere, and there are also many Pixies. Liu Xin and Itohei walked slowly here. After all, it was difficult to get up quickly. There were rugged roads everywhere. In view of the fact that many trainers have had accidents here in recent years, Nibi City built Shimotsukami Mountain to make it much easier to walk here. However, the steepness of Mount Tsukami cannot be underestimated. It's so high, so dangerous. I feel that, if I'm not careful, my life will be in danger. Itohei no longer rides the fire horse. Anyone who dares to ride in this area is equivalent to seeking death. Liu Xin looked at the scene around him, and the sky gradually darkened. I heard that the moonstone is very beautiful at night. Let's go up and take a look. Also, it's unreasonable to come to Yujian Mountain and not see the moonstone once. The two of them walked to the top of the mountain. During this period, Pippi and Pikaxi had become much stronger. The eyes they looked at Liu Xin and Itohei were a little unfriendly, more or less full of hostility. Logically, they are very docile Pokémon. Why is it like this? Itohei and Liu Xin were a little confused. Before they reached the top of the mountain, a clear cry attracted them. Pippi, 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 come to the ball. I have given you all the delicious food. If you don't come with me, I will cry. Hei walked over, and Liu Xin walked over. It seemed that a young girl was chatting with Pippi and there was a pixie ball in the middle. The woman looks very pure, but her black long straight attributes are not those of a real sister, but rather a natural and stupid attribute. She showed her small tiger teeth, and looked expectantly at Pippi walking step by step. It was very cute. Itohei glanced at him a few times and greeted directly. Hey, beauty, what are you doing here? Is Pippi your Pokémon? When the woman saw someone coming, she seemed to grab a life-saving straw and said forward, "No, I'm a trainer from Nibi City and I'm capturing my first Pokémon." As soon as Liu Xin heard that she had caught the first Pokémon physically, she became excited. She stepped forward confidently and said, "I'm good at this. After all, I also caught the first Pokémon with my body, and it was this guy." As soon as Flash Karakura came out, she looked at Pippi curiously. Pippi was instantly scared and hid behind the woman's heels, a little shy. When the woman saw Pippi hiding behind her heels and relying on her to get close to her, she said happily, "You're so powerful. You've brought Pippi and me closer with just one move. What do we do next?" Itohei and Liu Xin suddenly felt that the woman in front of them was not only stupid, but had no idea about Pokémon. I'm speechless, but the process of teaching and capturing still needs to continue. Liu Xin smiled and said, "Next, you need to throw this Pokeball towards Pippi. As long as a small hole in the middle touches the Pokémon, it will absorb the Pokémon into the Pokeball and then wait for the result." After hearing this, the woman took the Pokémon ball and said, "Is that so? Doesn't it look good?" For a moment, the woman made various postures to prepare to throw the Pokémon ball, and there were various postures. The movements completely outlined her cuteness, making the two of them unable to bear to point out the woman's mistakes. After the woman was greatly distressed, Liu Xin coughed lightly and said, "Actually, the posture for catching Pokémon is not very important, but a good posture can greatly increase the chance of catching Pokémon." The woman's eyes were shining. It feels fun and magical. She immediately walked over and asked, then what posture do you think I can use to increase the chance of success? Sure enough, experienced trainers are different. Hearing this, Liu Xin raised the corners of her mouth and said, after what I just did to you, observation and analysis, you are suitable for this posture. Raise your head, lift your butt, and throw the Pokeball in your hand in a sexy manner. Your eyes must be seductive. Do you understand? The woman actually had no doubts. She really did. He did as he was told, which made Liu Xin and Itohei very lively and excited. Itaguro silently gave a thumbs up and said, it's just very serious nonsense, but you're still amazing. I admire you. The surprising thing is that the woman actually managed to capture Pippi perfectly with a sexy posture. This directly made the woman have a good impression of Liu Xin. Holding the Pokemon ball, she felt as if she had found a treasure. You are so amazing. You must be a very powerful trainer, right? How to capture Pokemon. My name is Moriangxiang. After Liu Xin introduced himself to Itaguro, Moriangxiang directly said, you guys are trainers, right? Don't think that I'm just a new trainer, but my cooking is super delicious, and I can help you take care of Pokemon. Bring Moriangxiang over? This is a good relationship. With a beautiful woman accompanying you, I believe you will be more comfortable on the road. Liu Xin agreed with both hands and feet, and Itohei did not even have any objections. Thus, the 2-person team became a 3-person team, with the addition of a tall, straight, black, and beautiful girl. When Moriangxiang has something to do, he will let Pippi out to play and chat, and tell her stories. And this Pippi was very affectionate towards Moriangxiang, but he was murderous towards the 2 men, showing his teeth and claws. Stingy, I won't even touch him. But why has Pippi become so irritable and hates humans? Itohei was very confused and looked at Pikachu, who was a little hostile around him. Moriangxiang sighed, it is mainly us humans who have done it ourselves. You have seriously interfered with Pippi's life, and taken away a large number of moonstones from her. Can we please you? I figured it out. This situation is not only in Tsukumi Mountain, but also in various areas. There are bound to be conflicts and contradictions between people and Pokemon. Liu Xin asked doubtfully, then why did you come to Yujianshan, which is not very stable? What do you mean? It is not good to have 3 Pokemon in Nibi City. A group of Pippi and Pixie came from a distance, their eyes full of hostility. The one who comes is not good. Chapter 17 Moriangxiang's Problem. A group of Pippi and Pikachu came from afar with evil eyes. Liu Xin and Itaguro were ready to fight, but Moriangxiang was a little confused behind them. Huh? Are we going to start a Pokemon battle? Then I'll let Pippi go. Liu Xin and Itohei smiled bitterly. This Pippi was no different from the normal Pippi. He was definitely crushed. But they just blocked the way and refused to go up to the top of the mountain. Pico. There was a bit of warning in the words. Although he couldn't understand it, he could almost understand it by looking at their movements and behavior. Obviously, Pikachu and Pippi are very xenophobic now, and above all, they don't want humans to go to the top of the mountain. Liu Xin is not arrogant enough to fight Pikachu, who is in his 30s or 40s, so he will definitely be a loser. It was a pity to say, come on, we have no way to deal with this situation. Moriangxiang said with a bit of regret, I thought it might lead to my first battle. Goodbye. What a silly girl from Huanan City. This is a city that lives off of water, and water-type Pokemon can be found everywhere. Moriangxiang's eyes sparkled, and she said, wow, it's so beautiful here. It has a dreamlike feel to it. It is completely different from the dry city of Nibi. The so-called water city will be very strong in art and entertainment. This really made Liu Xin feel very good. It was a really nice city with outstanding people and a comfortable place. Itaguro looked around and looked everywhere. There are so many beautiful women. What kind of magical place is this? Suddenly, I feel that coming to the city in southern China is to enjoy it, not to participate in some gym competitions. Xin couldn't control this at all. Guy and Ankamori are also walking around. Liu Xin stood alone in the center of the street, looking at the scenery, and said helplessly, okay, let's have fun in this city waterways. Water-type Pokemon. It was all very nice. The latest photo album of the 3 sisters of southern China. Don't miss it if you pass by. Tickets are on sale. The last performance is in the afternoon. The images of the three people began to appear in Liu Xin's mind. He bought a photo album, took a look, and was deeply attracted. The image has changed a lot from what he saw before. Although the hair color is still the same as before, the temperament is very different. After all, they no longer wear one-piece swimsuits like before, but bikinis, making people unable to look away. I'm here to learn and refer to my opponent's Pokémon, not to watch the show. Yes, this is all for the gym competition. Liu Xin entered the venue and sat down with the photo album and purchased tickets. Fate is always wonderful. When I sit down, I look into the eyes of the person next to me. It's you. I'll go. Xiaohui, why are you here? Unexpectedly, Itohei also came to watch the performance with Liu Xin. The two sat together. It was very clever. Itaguro said the same thing. It doesn't matter if I'm acting or not. I'm here mainly to understand my opponent. As the saying goes, if you know yourself and your enemy, you will emerge victorious in any battle. So I'm here to observe the opponent's combat effectiveness. Serious nonsense. But why not Liu Xin? The two of them reached an inexplicable consensus and fooled themselves and others together. 10 minutes later, the three sisters from South China came out to applaud one after another. Sure enough, the real person is more beautiful. The blonde Sakura shows the charm of an adult elder sister every time she raises her hands and feet. She has a beautiful face and a plump figure, which makes people applaud. Although the second sister, a chorus, with dark blue hair, is not as real as the elder sister, she feels more comfortable. She is a kind of gentle young lady that makes people immerse themselves in her. As for the third sister, Peony, with pink hair, she is the cute type. Her sweet smile and pure appearance make people feel protective, and she is very petite and cute. The three sisters smiled and said, "Thank you very much for coming to Huanan City as guests, and thank you very much for your kindness. Thank you all for coming to watch our three sisters' performance." Well, without further ado, let the performance begin now. The three women jumped into the water at the same time, forming a perfect arc. The water didn't splash much, just like a fairy in the water. Little sea lion. A little sea lion jumped out of the water, and the three sisters followed simultaneously. The splashing of the water caught everyone's attention. The combination of the sun, the water, and the beautiful women exudes endless charm. The three sisters and the Pokémon work together in perfect harmony, and perform various difficult moves one after another, making people dizzy. The applause never ceased. It was very tempting. Liu Xin and Itohei shouted, "The sky is so blue, the waves are so big, and the little sea lions are so white." I feel the same way. You must be meticulous when observing your opponent and you must not miss any details. The two of them really stared. I wish I had a few more eyes. Thank you all for your support and love for us. Today's performances have ended. Tonight is when we begin the gym competition in South China City. We hope that all trainers come to participate. Rules. Itaguro was a little surprised and said, "Don't you know? South China City is theoretically a tourist city, so the gym competition is not taken very seriously, but because the alliance has tasks and instructions, the two parties negotiated the best way to get the best of both worlds is to hold the gym competition in South China City only at night. At night. Can you challenge the three sisters of South China and the gym leader Xiaoxia?" After breaking up with Xiaoxi, he took a completely different path from Xiaogang and became the leader of the South China gym. Having the opportunity to meet characters from the anime made Liu Xin inexplicably a little excited. It's just that the South China gym is not very friendly to me. After all, I'm a ground-type Pokémon, so I'm at a disadvantage. Do you have to defeat the three sisters of South China to fight Xiaoxia? It used to be said that the South China gym was the weakest gym, the kind that gave out free badges, but that doesn't seem to be the case now. But that's what makes it interesting. The corners of Liu Xin's mouth raised slightly, and he said confidently, "No matter what, I can definitely win." Itohei was equally confident. "I'll get the badge faster than you this time. I'm waiting to go to the gym competition in the evening. What about Moriangxiang?" The two of them realized that they had forgotten about Moriangxiang and were now searching for this natural beauty. Water-type Pokémon are so cute and beautiful. I must catch some Pokémon. Come here and get into my arms. Anxiang Mori was now by the river, letting Pippi and I have a conversation with the unicorn goldfish together, and the scene was very harmonious. However, she didn't notice a little crocodile slowly approaching behind her. Then, with quick hands and eyes, she took Mori Anxiang's backpack and started to run away. Pippi cried out in alert and immediately chased after it. Mori Anxiang realized later, stop, that little crocodile in front of me, there's nothing valuable in my backpack. It's useless if you steal it. Don't run away. I'm exhausted. Chapter 18 Fighting the Giant Crab. Mori Anxiang was chasing after her, extremely tired. It seemed that she didn't get enough exercise. As for the little crocodile, it was different. She quickly distanced herself, and even proudly teased him. Little crocodile. Fortunately, Pippi was chasing after her, so at least she wouldn't lose him. Liu Xin quickly found Mori Anxiang and greeted him. Xiaozhen, what are you doing here? You look very tired. Mori Anxiang grabbed Liu Xin and took a deep breath. There is a thief. My backpack was stolen. It doesn't contain many valuables, but all the money and documents. Then we had to catch the little crocodile. Before Liu Xin could act, Itaguro released the flaming horse. Run and catch up with the little saw crocodile in front. I don't think you can be faster than my flaming horse. The extremely confident Itaguro began to command. The flaming horse, as fast as the wind, approached the little saw crocodile super fast. The little saw crocodile, who was still joking at first, began to panic. Why did Cheng Yaojin suddenly appear in the middle? The speed is simply not as fast as the opponent. Is it too fast? The fire horse quickly stood in front of the little crocodile, with a hostile look in his eyes, signaling the other party to stop. Little crocodile. Roaring, a sliding blade slashed through him with superb skill. Itohiro was shocked. Is it okay? He does acrobatics, right? Keep chasing him, don't let him escape. However, crocodile is not a vegetarian Pokémon, is it? By water? This is a city full of water. The little crocodile jumped into the water very quickly and disappeared from everyone's eyes. In the water, it is not slow. Liu Xin's face turned ugly and he immediately released the flash Karakara. Catch up, and you must not let that guy escape. Fire horse, also speed up and catch up. Don't lose him. The horses were very fast and quickly caught up with the little crocodile in the water. The little crocodile originally thought it was safe, but who would have thought that there would be people chasing it on land? Mori Anxiang saw it clearly and said softly, if we do this, we won't be able to catch up after all, so we should let the water type Pokémon take care of catching them. Liu Xin was a little distressed. It's not that he didn't want it. Pokémon with other attributes are restricted by the system, and can only be trained with Pokémon with ground attributes. This made it very restrictive, and Itaguro next to him said firmly, I'll forget it. I'm not very interested in water type Pokémon. I'm determined to become a general Pokémon master and a fire type Pokémon. With other attributes it will only affect me. He said this, focusing all his attention on Morianka. Now only Morianka has a choice, and he also wants to catch water type Pokémon. Ding, the host triggers a side quest to help Morianka retrieve her backpack and help the other party capture the Totodile. If the quest is successful, you will receive a reward of 50 points and a magic candy. After taking it, the Pokémon you choose will increase by 1 level. After so long, I finally heard the system issue a quest. If he hadn't spoken, Liu Xin would have almost forgotten its existence. Liu Xin rolled up her sleeves, patted her chest, and said, Xiaozhen, you haven't forgotten the process I taught you about how to capture Pokémon, right? It's good that you haven't forgotten. Let's start capturing water type Pokémon now. Mori Anxiang was very excited to catch the water Pokémon, and looked at Liu Xin with great anticipation. Pippi next to him quickly found the target, a level 21 giant claw crab. They didn't understand. They thought she would find cute Pokémon, but she actually found such a fierce Pokémon. The body color of the giant claw crab is composed of red and white. The top of the head and 2 crab claws are red, and the rest is white. There are 2 bulges on the top of the head, and there are bulges on the lower jaw that look like teeth. The corner of Moriaxiang's mouth raised slightly, and she said, I especially like crabs, so I have always longed for crab Pokémon. So when you see a giant claw crab, how can you not catch it? It's quite special, but she seems to understand it. After all, it looks so powerful and handsome. Of course, it is absolutely impossible to win by relying on Pippi. If level 15 Pippi wants to defeat a level 21 giant claw crab, she will have to fight for it. That's simply nonsense. At this moment, Liu Xin needed to act. As soon as the mutated little elephant came out, Changshan roared. Little elephant. It's been too long since it was played. I didn't even use it in the last gym competition, which left him exhausted. He stared at Pippi and the big crab with fierce eyes. His fighting spirit was high, and without speaking, he was probably going to fight 1 against 2. Liu Xin pointed at the giant claw crab and shouted, use the fireball technique. After the mutated little elephant's last training, the fire attribute skills were even more terrifying, and it could burn the airwaves with any blow. The temperature suddenly rose, and Pippi was so scared that she quickly hid behind Moriaxiang. Moriaxiang's eyes flashed. What a cute and powerful little elephant. I've never seen you use it before. It's a pity. His large pincers were no joke. He roared, and then waved his large pincers. Metal claw. The originally large red pliers instantly grew a little larger, were coated with silver on the surface, and were incomparably hard. Boom. There was a sound, and the fireball technique directly shattered. Instead, the mutated little elephant became excited. This kind of battle is interesting. Use earthquake, and then follow up with flame jet. If the two moves are used together, the effects will naturally be different. The big crab in the distance became alert because the ground around it began to tremble and cracks appeared. The giant claw crab did not dodge, but instead moved its claws simultaneously, stomping, fighting poison with poison, and colliding with the earthquake. The ground in the area between the two instantly cracked and gravel flew. What a strong combat force, no matter which side it is on. A super thick pillar of fire shoots out from the mutated elephant's mouth, aiming to kill the giant claw crab. At this moment, the giant claw crab's mouth begins to spit out bubbles, and its classic skill, Bubble Light. The bubbles hit each other with jets of flame, preventing the opponent's attack from advancing for even half a minute. Slowly approaching like this, the foam light gradually takes over. The foam ray continues to advance, and the jet of flame gradually dissipates. The mutated little elephant is really starting to feel difficulties, but it is far from reaching its limit. Liu Xin shouted angrily, give up the flame spray, use the earth thorn at this moment, and directly attack the opponent's lower position. Then resist the foam light. Sharp earth thorns emerged from the ground instantly, and hit the crab perfectly. No matter how powerful the giant claw crab is, it will be difficult to resist the sudden appearance of the earth thorns, and will be directly knocked down. As for the mutated little elephant, it resisted the foam ray head on, but it did not fall. Fireball technique. Quickly rushed towards the giant claw crab, along with the characteristic mutant piercing fire. The flames burned endlessly, enveloping and burning the giant crab, and the effect was remarkable. Chapter 19. Capturing the young sawtooth crocodile. Water and fire have always been incompatible. The attributes of water can cause great damage to fire, so fire can naturally burn water. This is a relationship between the giant claw crab in front of me and the armor-piercing fire. The mutated little elephant does not throw out the armor-piercing fire, but it will burn continuously. Therefore, the big crab in front of him was constantly burning, and his whole body felt extremely uncomfortable. The time for capture has come. Liu Xin shouted, throw your Pokémon ball right now. Morianka did the action you were taught yesterday, and threw the Pokémon ball in a sexy manner. This is someone else's attempt to catch the crab, and the giant crab is likely to be unconvinced and break free, so the possibility of failure is high. Liu Xin asked the mutated little elephant to block the way, to prevent the other party from escaping, after breaking out of the Pokémon ball. However, Morianka's sexy posture seems to be very easy to use, and always works well. The Pokémon ball only shook a few times, before making a crisp sound of successful capture. Moriaxiang was so happy that he hugged Liu Xin. Great, I have a second Pokémon, and it is still a very powerful Pokémon. Thank you, Liu Xin. There really is no concept of intimacy between men and women, and the girl's fragrance also made Liu Xin feel like in a trance. After all, I was an otaku in my previous life. Where did I have any contact with girls? So that hug just now was his first time, and he was really a sad man. Axiang Mori held the Pokeball with great enthusiasm, extremely excited. But there are still things that have not been resolved, and this is only the first step. Komori, next time is when you use the giant crab to chase the little crocodile. You have to command the giant crab yourself. There is no problem. The giant crab was released, and I had no idea about it. He fought and was very fond of Mori Yasuka. Be friendly. As for Liu Xin, that was not a good expression. Morianka's excitement has affinity, but this is also a good thing. Flash Karakura and Blazing Horse were almost tired of chasing them, and Little Crocodile was almost tired as well. But it takes a long time to swim through the channel before reaching a wide area, and then you can get rid of those two annoying spirits. That's what Little Crocodile had in mind, and the place of the river is about to come. At this moment, the giant claw crab fell from the sky, and the foaming lightning struck the water directly. It forced the little crocodile to stop, with an ugly expression on its face. The giant claw crab roared, and provoked the little crocodile in front of it. The level 14 crocodile is too weak in front of the level 21 giant claw crab. Within 3 rounds, the little crocodile formed a graceful arc, and fell from the water to the ground. It did not suffer too serious damage, but it could not escape, and was surrounded by layers. There are shining Karakuras, mutated baby elephants, and flaming horses on the land, and giant crabs in the water. How can he escape? Little crocodile. He stepped back step by step, his face solemn and ugly. The situation was very bad. Morianxiang smiled and said, "Little crocodile, can you tell me why you stole my package? If you want to eat something, or take the items inside, you can ask me. Cute, I will definitely give it to you." Morianxiang obviously planned to put the other party into the Pokemon Ball. This made Liu Xin relax a lot. She didn't have to do any ideological work at all. As long as she managed to subdue the little crocodile, the task would be completed. The little crocodile finally threw down her backpack, with a look of helplessness and grievance in her eyes. Kara, little elephant, little crocodile. They did indeed communicate. But what are they talking about? No one could understand it, which made Liu Xin want to Team Rocket Meowth, which was a walking Pokemon translator. Speaking of the Pokemon language, Liu Xin immediately searched in the system mall. In fact, it contains this language, and the price is not too high. You can get it directly with 50 points. Congratulations to the host for spending 50 points to learn the Pokemon language. I have 100 points left. Once they learned the Pokemon language, these guys understood everything they said. After hearing this, Liu Xin finally figured out the little saw crocodile's purpose. It turns out that the little crocodile didn't want to steal the backpack, but wanted to play. This seems to be a little activity it has always done. No trainer had ever successfully caught it before, so it always returned it to them. It's just that this time I overturned into the ditch and got trapped. If you're looking for excitement, you can get involved this time. Itaguro said in surprise, you can actually hear the Pokemon language. Why didn't I know it before? I'm curious, but I just don't understand Pokemon words. Liu Xin almost didn't laugh after asking about it. Seeing such laughter, Itaguro became anxious. Tell me, what does Liu Ma usually say about me? Liu Xin took a deep breath and said, you have to be mentally prepared, because what happens next should change your attitude. Because it's a female fire horse. You always ride it indiscriminately. Sometimes you ride it, even after walking dozens of meters. If it were, I would believe you are a bitch to you. It is its owner, and it has been serving it with horse hooves for a long time. What? Itaguro was hit hard like a bolt from the blue. I always thought that Liu Ma meant that. Why does this mean? I don't believe you. I'll go ask Liu Ma. Unexpectedly, he replied yes. His facial expressions and movements were too obvious. Itaguro was petrified on the spot, and the autistic little crocodile did not put up much resistance. He was unable to defeat the giant claw crab and was directly captured by Mori Yasuka. I'm so happy. Thank you, Liu Xin. I caught 2 water type Pokémon at once, and both of them were very powerful. Thank you very much. Liu Xin quickly kissed Xin on the cheek and was delighted. As for Liu Xin, his head suddenly short-circuited. He gently touched the warmth on her face with his hand and said dreamily, "Is this a girl's kiss?" IQ immediately cleared up, and I stammered when I spoke. That's good. I didn't even go to the gymnasium competition tonight. After all, one is autistic and the other has a negative IQ. Only Mori Xiang can attempt the challenge on his own. The next day, the 3 of them gathered together. Xiang Mori proudly took out the badge of the South China Gymnasium and said excitedly, look, I have the badge. No matter what, it is impossible for Mori Xiang to be stronger than Xiaoxia, so how can she succeed? Mori Xiang chuckled and said, it was given to me by Sister Yingzi. She said that I was very cute and still wanted to challenge any gymnasium, so she gave it to me for free. Okay. Liu Xin and Itaguro were shocked, but Liu Xin quickly recovered. It seems that in the anime, the 3 sisters from southern China were given free badges. So, it doesn't seem strange that they would do this. Chapter 20 Pokemon Super Series. It's impossible for other gyms to hand out badges because they're cute, but there's no guarantee that this will be the case in the South China gym. Liu Xin adjusted his mindset and sighed. Just accept it. The South China gym is still so casual. Let's honestly challenge him tonight. After deciding, everyone returned to their normal mindset and went to look at photos. After all, there are many beauties in South China City, and their art is outstanding. Liu Xin also went to train to let Flashing Karakura, Giant Rock Snake, and Mutated Little Elephant adapt to water type attacks in advance. The Flash Karakura is quite easy, but the Mutated Little Elephant and Giant Rock Snake are a little awkward. Water-based attacks cause a lot of damage to them. Kara. This guy was so proud that he started to mock his teammates. The Giant Rock Snake and Mutated Little Elephant were not peaceful. They roared and directly attacked the Flashing Karakura. When Liu Xin saw it, he shouted, Stop. You are all teammates. No fighting, no internal conflicts. The little crocodile cheered, hoping that the world would not be in chaos. As the owner, Xiang Mori also did something similar. Come on. I'm optimistic about you, the little mutant elephant. But the Flash Karakura is also very powerful. This made Liu Xin very happy. My head hurts. These 3 guys are very disobedient. He couldn't control the 3 guys at all and let them go. Fortunately, this is not an urban area, but a mountainous area near the South China Cave. This way, they will be able to fight as they want. Hey, it is said that there is a legendary Pokémon, Mutwo, in the South China Cave. Liu Xin remembered that the information recorded that there was a legendary Pokémon, Mutwo, in the South China Cave. The South China Cave is right in front of you, and you can go in and see it at any time. Itaguro shook his head slightly inside. It existed before, but there was a landslide a few years ago, and Cheomeng flew away. So now the South China Cave is no longer special, it's just a simple training area. I thought, having the chance to meet Cheomeng doesn't seem so simple now. Liu Xin was not discouraged, as he couldn't take it away after seeing it. They struggled to get in, and Liu Xin immediately walked towards them. The South China Cave is very dark, with poor visibility. Mori Xiang kept getting closer and closer to Liu Xin, making Liu Xin's heart itch. The fragrance always flows into the tip of your nose, and your mind is filled with excitement. Itaguro was a little helpless. Although she was also a fire-type Pokémon, why didn't she approach him? Is it just because Liu Xin is more handsome than me? There is no moisture inside the South China Cave, which is completely opposite to Water Town, so there are more rock-type and ground-type Pokémon here. Liu Xin began to think of ideas and gradually delved deeper into them. The space and line of sight became wider. Pokémon jumped out one after another, and it took the 3 of them to work together to eliminate them all. Because of this, Liu Xin's experience and points continue to increase. The huge rock snake is destroying the cave wantonly, trembling in all directions, which is very scary. The mutated little elephant and the flashing Karakura acted separately. If Liu Xin hadn't been receiving experience and point reminders all the time, she wouldn't have relied on these three guys. At least the external opponents are not strong now, and it's easy to deal with them. Pippi worked hard to level up, working with the little crocodile, and assisted by the big claw crab. Itagiro's fire horse is very lethal, and combined with ladder and ninetales, it can pierce through the enemy. The three gradually separated, and Liu Xin followed the giant rock snake all the way to the bottom. Big rock snake. Suddenly, the huge rock snake roared attentively, with a solemn expression on its face. The mutated elephant and the flashing Karakura, who had moved separately, returned to their positions, and looked seriously at the Pokémon coming out in front of them. From a distance, the tiny form can already be seen. This guy's not big. It looks like a young shark, with a huge dorsal fin on the top of its head and two protrusions on both sides of its head. Round land shark. Liu Xin didn't expect to see this guy here. The round land shark's body has a dark blue background, with red from the lower jaw to the abdomen. There is a light blue stripe on the two protrusions on its back and head. It has a huge mouth with sharp teeth and short, sturdy limbs divided into 3 fingers. It came out with its teeth and claws declaring war arrogantly. Another Pokémon with a bad temper, but Liu Xin fell in love with it. Super round land shark, level 18. Can evolve into fanged land shark at level 20. Attack 260 special attack, 200 defense, 150 special defense, 140 speed, 130 characteristics. Hidden sand. Evasion rate increases in sandstorm weather and will not be affected by the loss of physical strength due to sandstorm weather. Rough skin. When the opponent performs a close contact attack, they will receive 30% of the round land shark's damage. Skills, quicksand hell, dragon's breath, stomp, sand pulling, impact super. What the heck is a round land shark? What's going on? However, the data of this round land shark is not inferior to that of the mutated baby elephant and the flashing Karakura, which means that they are on the same grade. The huge rock snake roared and launched an attack, directly using collision. The super round land shark did not dodge, but instead rushed forward and followed up with the impact. Boom. A faint purple color can be seen on the surface of the round land shark, and the power of the skill doubles in an instant, directly knocking down the huge rock snake in front of it. Such a small one can actually drive away a huge rock snake. What is going on? The huge rock snake became angry, and the gravel everywhere condensed, turning into terrifying rocks, and killing the super round land shark. Mountain slide. The super round land shark didn't care. It stomped on it with both feet, and a terrifying force exploded. The ground in front of it instantly shot out gravel, and attacked the stone. Bang, bang, bang. The sound was terrifying, and all of the giant rock snake's attacks were shattered, and many of them directly hit the giant rock snake. The damage was very obvious. If Flash Karakura hadn't taken action, the giant rock snake would have suffered even more horrible. This is far beyond the ordinary round land shark. What's going on? Hearing the sound, Itaguro walked over and said in surprise, "I'll go. Are you so lucky? You can meet Pokémon from the Ultra series." Seeing Liu Xin's confused face, Itaguro excitedly explained, "It has been confirmed before that Mewtwo is here, right? This has attracted many trainers to challenge Mewtwo, and every time Mewtwo is attacked, its power will leak out. This caused many Pokémon to mutate after absorbing Mewtwo's power. This is similar to your mutant elephant, but your elephant absorbed the mutation of the alien meteorite, while the round shark absorbed Mewtwo's energy. It turns out that the Super Series is a Pokémon that absorbed Mewtwo's energy and mutated. No wonder its strength and attributes are so extraordinary." This made Liu Xin even more excited. He geared up and said, "Then I will catch this round land shark." Chapter 21. The first battle of Super Round Land Shark. The super round land shark roared angrily, and a purple halo appeared all over its body again. The round land shark, shrouded in a purple halo, looked arrogant, not afraid of Flash Karakura's siege or the mutated baby elephant. But it never thought that the two guys in front of it were not simple guys. Earththorn, Griffin. Flash Karakura quickly stepped forward and began to swing the bone club in its hand with great attack power. The little mutated elephant stomped heavily on the ground and stabbed at Xiangqiao's round land shark. The opponent also used the same skill and immediately attacked Flash Karakara. But he never expected that the mutated baby elephant's earth thorns were so strong, even stronger than his own. Too careless. There was no chance to get close to shining Karakara, and the earth thorns held him down. Boom. There was a loud noise, and Flash Karakara's attack was very effective, hitting the super round land shark. But the super round land shark didn't hurt much, and the purple aura resisted a lot of damage. Ugh? Question mark? Flash Karakara is a bit painful. This is the retaliation caused by the opponent's rough skin. Impact. Directly knocking down Flash Karakara. No one took advantage of the first round. The other party's characteristics are too disgusting. In the second round, the third round, and the fourth round, neither side had any advantage to take advantage of, but Flash Karakara and mutated little elephant were still superior. The super round land shark was panting and no longer had much ability to fight. Liu Xin saw the right time and threw the Pokémon ball directly bite. After shaking for about a minute, the super round land shark was finally subdued. It's such a tough battle. I didn't expect that two Pokémon would have to attack together to succeed. But it's so powerful and difficult to cultivate. It's definitely not weak when trained. It is said that Pokémon in the Super Series are hard to come by. It's just that Liu Xin encountered this super round land shark first, so he couldn't fight for it. Liu Xin excitedly released the super round land shark, and now its attributes can be clearly seen. The front is still the same, but there is one more line. Super characteristic, purple aurora. A layer of purple light is attached to the surface. This light can absorb a large amount of damage and enhance its own characteristics and skill damage, so it's such a characteristic. No wonder it can take down my huge rock snake. Cooperate with yourself. With my rough skin, it was simply terrifying and moving. Liu Xin was excited, which gave him more confidence to challenge the South China Gym. Continue to level up and improve your strength. Tonight we must challenge the three sisters of the South China Gym. Hey, isn't this the little sister from yesterday? Did you bring your boyfriend to challenge us today? Sakurako and the others joked, causing the girl to wave her hands. No, we are just good friends. Together adventurous coach. And Liu Xin is a good person. Are you handing over the good guy card so quickly? Liu Xin was a little hurt. Tongyan Wuji. Liu Xin waved his hand and said, today I'm here to challenge the South China Gymnasium. I don't know how to proceed. Yingzi smiled and said, little brother is very impatient. When challenging us, the three sisters will randomly choose a person to fight you. As long as you defeat your opponent, you can go in and challenge our sister, Xiaoxia. After defeating Xiaoxia, you can get the South China badge. China Gym. No wonder Itohei and I separated. The fight should also start there. Liu Xin said seriously. So, my opponent is you, Sister Yingzi? He nodded and threw the Pokemon ball. No more nonsense. Let's begin. The little sea lion looks very cute. Its body is white like snowflakes, and its tail is like a fountain. Little sea lion, level 20 attack. 170 special attack. 190 Liu Xin threw the Pokemon ball in his hand. Go, super round shark, start your first battle. He raises his limbs like balloons, and angrily provokes the little sea lion in front of him. It's very cute. Milk is fierce. Milk is fierce. Well, if you look like this, and still provoke others, how can you be a deterrent? Liu Xin himself was sweating at Chao Yuanlesha's ridicule. Yingzi pursed her lips and smiled. It's such a cute Pokemon, but I don't know if it can survive the blows. Little sea lion, use the water stream that gathers in the little sea lion's mouth, and soon a thick column of water like a bucket rushed out. Use stomp. He stomped the ground hard, and the water in front of him shook. Immediately, earth spikes shot out of the water, blocking the water stream in front of him. Turn on the purple aurora, shorten the distance, and start close combat. Quicksand. Fine sand began to appear in all directions. The little sea lion was a little confused. The sand slowly gathered together, like a spider web, intertwined and intertwined. It restricted the little sea lion's movement, making the opponent slow and cumbersome, and there was always quicksand to attack. Use rocks. As long as these quicksands are frozen, they will not be a threat. The rocks actually froze the quicksand, but they also allowed the super round land shark to get closer. Impact. The headbutt fell hard, and with the blessing of the purple aurora, the little sea lion was instantly torn to pieces. Dragon breath. The rays of light converged on the mouth of the super round land shark, absorbing the airwaves from all directions, and a faint dragon roar flowed through it. You can feel the power of the dragon and the breath of wind and waves. This is a high damage skill of the dragon clan. Of course, any dragon type Pokémon can use it. Boom. It landed without hesitation and hit the little sea lion impartially. Ding, the super round land shark used dragon breath to hit the little sea lion, and the effect was remarkable. When the dust settled, the little sea lion lost its ability to fight and fell unconscious to the ground. The battle quickly ended, and super round land shark was very proud and danced proudly. Sakurako looked at the dancing super round shark and smiled. It's really a cute Pokémon. It's very strong, and is qualified to challenge my sister, the gym leader of this gym, Zyuksha. Go, this is your qualification certificate for the challenge. He threw a key to Liu Xin and made way for her. As for Itaguro, he is still fighting hard, but the problem is not big. After Liu Xin opened the door, the scene was similar to the outside. It was still a large indoor pool, but much smaller. This place seemed to be tailor-made for the gym competition, while Zyuksha stood in the distance. Her appearance is not much different from the anime, but in recent years, her figure and appearance have completely grown up, and she is really a beautiful woman. Comparing her with the three sisters outside, it is even worse. Perhaps this is the charm brought to her by going out to seek adventure and experience. Zyuksha looked at Cheoyuan Lu Shark and chuckled. Trainers who are here to challenge you, congratulations and welcome you. Not much nonsense, my gym competition is very simple, win in 3 games. Whoever wins first is the winner. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22 ends in a draw. It's really strange. In recent years, there have been more Super Series Pokémon near us. I didn't expect you to have one in your hand. I've explained the rules clearly to you. Let's start the battle directly. As the leader of the South China City Council, it would be a little rude if I didn't use a Super Series Pokémon to duel with you. When Zyuksha said this, Liu Xin's heart tightened. The opponent's strength is not weak. And now he plans to use a Super Series Pokémon? You know, Ultra Series Pokémon are not weak. Who knows who uses it? Come out, Cheo Wubo. Wubo looks a bit like a giant salamander, with blue skin and moist mucous membranes covering his body. There are also lavender horns on both sides of his head, which are a bit like branches and a bit like part of snowflakes. There are 3 dark blue stripes on his belly. Since he has no arms, he relies on his thin but powerful tail to propel himself forward in the water. The Super Series Yubo also has a bit more purple on its body, making it look even more powerful. As soon as it came out, it was at odds with the super round land shark. It was extremely bellicose and provocative. The same happened to the super round land shark. It roared, and the battlefield gradually heated up. This kid is usually very well behaved, but it seems to start to become bellicose when it sees Pokémon of the same type. It seems that the Pokémon of the Super Series have a special will to fight each other, and Liu Xin also understood it. It seems that after all, his own Pokémon are all violent beings. Cheo Yubo, level 19 attack. 230 special attack. 230. It is not as good as Cheo Yubo in terms of attack, but it surpasses it in special attack. It seems to be a Pokémon that takes skill damage. But like the super round land shark, you can't see the other person's super characteristics at first, and you still need to try them slowly to find out. Cheo Yubo attacked first, and rushed towards Cheo Yuan Lu Shark with a mud throw. The power of mud throws is much more powerful than that of normal mud throws, and there are many of them. Continuously replenishing them, he quickly rushed towards a super round land shark. Take strong steps, and then use collision to shorten the distance. Super round land shark took a deep breath, stomped heavily on the ground with both feet, and made a terrifying tremor. The gravel and soil in all directions began to condense, and the ground in front of him cracked. The concentrated attacks rushed towards the mud in front of him without reservation, and the fight between the two was about to break out. In the smoke and dust, the body of the super round land shark quickly approached, just 2 fists away from the opponent. Crash! It hit the target, but the super round land shark felt very strange. It actually slipped, hit its head on the ground, and was injured. A faint purple light appeared on the surface of Choyubo, who had just activated his super properties. Round land shark. The super round land shark, who had suffered a loss, began to curse. It was obviously a blow, so why did it slide down? Liu Xin understood a lot after seeing the mucus on the other party's body. He speculated in his heart, the opponent's super characteristic should be slime. The slime given to oneself can be used to absorb most of the damage, and the slime will greatly enhance one's own attack and movement skills. Super Yubo's key. It turns out that this is the case. Liu Xin understands it in his heart, and will definitely be able to take action. Keep your distance, and try to avoid taking the initiative to physically attack the opponent. Quicksand hell. The ground around Choyubo began to condense sand and gravel, and began to swallow them like a vortex. In fact, the mucus on the body can melt a lot of sand and gravel, but after all, it can't block them all. It's still trapped, and all aspects of movement are restricted. Choyubo, use Kyu. To resolve the ranged attack like Quicksand hell, the most effective way is for the opponent to use ranged attack. Choyubo started to wag his tail and mutter in an unintelligible language. Within a few seconds, a small dark cloud appeared above his head and rain instantly fell. The rain swept away the Quicksand hell instantly, and the two skills offset each other again. It's a really tough opponent. Liu Xin feels that it's a tough battle. Sure enough, Pokémon with super characteristics are not good at all. Choyubo used the ability to hit. To beat means to close the distance and engage in close combat with the super round land shark. There was no way for the super round land shark to suffer a loss, so it moved forward with great momentum. Although it will slide due to the impact, it won't slide in close combat, right? The two instantly fought each other, and their super characteristics were activated at the same time. Choyubo will take damage when attacking the round land shark, and the damage will be doubled. The super round land shark kept sliding, unable to hit the opponent at all. The so-called half measure. No one can gain benefits from the other party. Liu Xin and Xiaoxia couldn't help but laugh when they saw the battle in front of them. The scene was similar to a fight between elementary school students. The funniest thing is that neither side hurts the other. They miss each other back and forth with a purple light on, moving away from each other. If the fight continues like this, there will be no result. Super Yuan Lu Shark, use Dragon Breath. Super Yubo, use Black Mist plus White Mist. Taking a deep breath, the super round land shark opened its mouth wide, swallowed the wind and waves into its belly, and gathered them into its mouth. A blue energy ball was suspended in it, a faint dragon roar circulated, and the ground on all sides began to collapse, showing the great power. In Choyubo, rain began to appear on both sides, and when the drops fell sideways, they instantly condensed and turned into ice. Black ice cubes and white ice cubes floated to the side, exuding a terrifying cold air. Frost is everywhere, and its lethality is no weaker than the dragon's breath. For a moment, the scene in front of me looked spectacular. The black and white ice and dragon's breath exploded in one breath, and the area in front of him was completely cut off. The wind and waves from the explosion dissipated, making them unable to see clearly and retreated continuously. Boom. A loud noise was heard, and the explosion impacted in all directions. Liu Xin praised, "Good boy, you are so powerful. I didn't expect the super series of Pokemon to be so amazing, and they were even equal in battle. Powerful battles, but not as impressed as Liu Xin." The dust on the battlefield lasted for 2 minutes before dissipating. The results inside surprised the two of them, but gradually made them feel normal. Since there was no winner in this match, the two Super Series Pokémon fell directly, resulting in a draw. This battle has greatly benefited everyone. Zyraksha smiled and said, "What a wonderful battle. I didn't expect your Super Series Pokémon to be so powerful. But we agreed to win 2 out of 3 games. This rule cannot be broken. Attack, go ahead." The second Pokémon is not Mr. Signature Pokémon, but a newly trained Pokémon. It seems that she has put in a lot of effort to make the competition in the gym reasonable. Kami Turtle, level 21 attack. 180 special attack. 200. This is an ordinary Kami Turtle, not as shocking as the previous Super Series. Chapter 23 Flash Mosquito Repellent. Camilla is a relatively ordinary Pokémon. At least compared to the previous 2 Super Series Pokémon, there is basically nothing extraordinary about it. Level 21. This is the only Pokémon I have that has reached level 20. Go ahead, Mutant Elephant. They started fighting as soon as they came out. They were obviously very belligerent, and they were also suffocated in the Pokéball. Liu Xin covered her head. When will it be obedient and stop being so irritable? This is obviously impossible. The flames on the tip of the mutated little elephant's trunk can already show its own will to fight. Zyraksha looked at the mutated little elephant in front of her, with a bit of curiosity and affection in her eyes. Is this a little elephant? It's actually on fire, and has fire attributes. It's really curious. But according to the attribute restriction, your mutated little elephant is no match for my Kami Turtle, Liu Xin said with a light smile. Then my little mutated elephant can disappoint you. After all, I'm not a Pokémon that can be defeated by restricting its attributes. Try it. Phew, a fireball flew directly, very casual. Therefore, it was extinguished before it reached Kami Turtle, which acted as a deterrent. Kami Turtle. The other party was angry and ready to fight. Then we can't show weakness. Kami Turtle uses a water gun. A head-sized water column shot out fiercely and rushed towards the little mutated elephant. Earth Spike. Earth spikes erupted from the ground area and directly penetrated the water gun. The momentum was like a rainbow, and it charged forward again, without any tendency to weaken at all. Shrink. Directly retracted into the shell, the earth spikes did not cause much damage. This is a good opportunity. The little mutant elephant uses collision. His entire body began to become engulfed in flames, his speed increased by a level, and he quickly rushed towards the Kami Turtle in front of him. The Kami Turtle hasn't even come out of its shrunken shell yet, but the mutated little elephant is already approaching, very fast. It's so fast, Kami Turtle must hold on. He was knocked back again, and the flames began to burn the turtle's shell, endlessly. At this moment, the mutated little elephant's mutant characteristics, the armor-piercing fire, come into play. Although the shell is burned, the turtle inside is also damaged. He hurriedly jumped out of the turtle's shell and rolled on the ground, but the flames couldn't be extinguished. What's going on? Your flames can't be extinguished? How strange. However, if you get rid of your mutated little elephant before that, then these flames won't be a problem. Water vapor began to appear around Kami Turtle, slowly condensing into a terrifying water column, which was aimed at the mutated little elephant. Liu Xin took a look and found that there was quite a bit of water vapor from the last super rain. Not only that, the water wave also has a slowing effect when it spreads, which affects the mutated little elephant to a greater or lesser extent. The mutated little elephant uses flames and earthquakes to finish him off. Roaring angrily, the ground began to tremble and crack, quickly spreading to Kami Turtle's surroundings and shaking. A very dangerous attack skill, which caused Kami Turtle to stagger and dodge when the ground cracked. From time to time there will be earth spurs shot out, which is difficult to guard against. The condensed water column shot out completely, aiming at the mutated little elephant emission. The flame jet also condensed in the mutated little elephant's mouth, and the small mouth was a huge pillar of fire. Although it was just a pillar of fire, the momentum it released was no weaker than that of many water pillars. Boom. A terrifying impact erupted, and the pillar of fire directly evaporated the water pillar in front of him. Even if a few water pillars broke through and rushed towards the mutated little elephant, it would be in vain. Because the high temperature evaporating water pillar has not caused much damage, a small fireball technique can completely deal with it. After all the water vapor dissipated, the result was obvious. The kami turtle was trapped by the earthquake, and the thorns on the ground exploded at the same time. It couldn't stop at all, and the coma was overcome. As for the mutated baby elephant, it was emitting flames, feeling proud and good about itself. Zyraksha took the kami turtle back and praised it. What a powerful little mutant elephant. It's just that this Pokémon is next. I wonder if you can defeat it? The Pokéball was thrown out. A purple light flashed. So it was a shiny Pokémon. Shiny mosquito. Level 22 attack. 250 special attack. 200 mosquito is a bipedal Pokémon with a spherical body. Its skin is blue, with a slippery, sticky liquid on its surface. It has spherical eyes protruding from the top of its head, with small nostrils between the eyes. There are black threads running counterclockwise on the white belly, which are the internal organs exposed by the transparent skin. The legs are longer than before evolution, and the hands have grown. Its hands seem to be wearing white gloves, and its feet were round and fingerless. A being with high attack power. Originally blue, it turned green and its combat power was much stronger. It would definitely be a tough battle. But if it's not a shiny Pokémon, it's still very difficult to deal with your own Pokémon. The mutated little elephant sensed the opponent's powerful aura, roared angrily, and its fighting spirit soared. Mr. Mosquito Repellent was stable and unprovoked. Liu Xin felt envious when he saw it. This was the first time he saw such a stable Pokémon, but after all, it didn't belong to him. Thinking of the Pokémon in my hands, all of them were belligerent and did not obey orders. He was really angry. I don't know if you can defeat me this time. Zyraksha is very confident in her shiny mosquito. Everyone can see how powerful the shiny Pokémon is. Liu Xin believed in the mutated little elephant. Don't worry, it will definitely surprise you. If you don't know the other party's flash characteristics, it is better to be careful. Bubble Light. Bubble, a common ability of water-type Pokémon, quickly rushes towards the mutated elephant. Fireball. The mutated little elephant quickly spit out multiple fireballs and rushed towards the opponent to attack. The mutated little elephant, who had always had the upper hand in special attacks, suffered a loss. Unexpectedly, he failed to break through the bubbles in front of him and was suppressed. Isn't the special attack much lower than that of the mutant baby elephant? Why is this happening? Liu Xin was a little confused. Is something wrong? Flash mosquito repellent. Get close and throw it with your back. Liu Xin roared. Use earthquake to distance yourself, and then use flame jet. The little mutated elephant also felt something wrong, because the opponent closed the distance and quickly used earthquake to distance himself. The flames in his mouth are condensed, ready to attack at any time. Boom. A purple light appeared on glitter mosquito repellent's body, and the flash characteristics were released. The little mutated elephant shook his entire body, the earthquake disappeared, and the condensed flames also disappeared. Ding, the little mutated elephant is in a silent state, and cannot use any skills. Chapter 24 Powerful Flash Mosquito Repellent. Unable to use any skills, and in a state of silence. Is this the Flash Mosquito Repellent's flashing feature? What a peculiar personality. Liu Xin carefully observed, and found that except for the skills not being able to be used, everything else remained unchanged. This means that when Flash Mosquito Repellent activates this flash function, neither party can use skills, and can only fight with their physical bodies. This is very unfair to the mutated baby elephant. After all, it is a Pokémon that relies on special attacks to survive. Now that the special attack that you are best at no longer exists, what should you use to attack? At least your great advantage no longer exists, and you can only fight with the physical body. However, this guy, the little mutant elephant, has not lost his fighting spirit, and still looks at the Flash Mosquito Repellent in front of him with fighting spirit. Having fists is convenient, so he directly made a provocative move. Good guy. Directly igniting the temper of this violent little mutant elephant. How could he care so much? In an instant, he was running rampant, his head buzzing as he rushed towards Mr. Flash Mosquito Repellent. Liu Xin covered his forehead and sighed helplessly. I can't order you. Just follow your temper and fight. Zyraksha chuckled. It's really a grumpy and interesting little elephant. So I accept victory in this battle. Without any suspense, Flash Mosquito Repellent instantly rushed forward, with strength and fighting skills higher than the mutated baby elephant. Little elephant. The mucus on his body protected him very well, and he directly deflected the mutant elephant's attack, then caught it and threw it over his shoulder. He didn't even have a chance to resist. With his super combat power, he was instantly killed in one blow. When the dust cleared, the mutated little elephant had fallen unconscious and was no match. This outcome has been foreseen by both parties. According to the close-range basic attack battle, the little mutant elephant is definitely no match for Flash Mosquito Repellent. It's not at all surprising to lose. So, Liu Xin has two Pokémon left, one is Giant Rock Snake and the other is Sparkling Karakara. It's not very realistic or scientific to see a huge rock snake. After all, the giant rock snake has no skills, and will just take a beating. The decision is up to you, Flash Karakara. Flash Karakara is definitely the best candidate, although it can't match the opponent's attack. Liu Xin has a lot of confidence in it, based on the duel alone. Kara. They are both shiny Pokémon, but they don't hate each other as much as a super series. They just yell at each other. Liu Xin was a little surprised. Why was this guy so well behaved? But he was a little uncomfortable with it. I didn't expect you to also have a shiny Pokémon. Your Pokémon are not simple. But, can you really defeat me? Sparkling Mosquito-kun, give it some color and see. Then, Flash Karakara was really affected, and his whole body felt very uncomfortable, suppressed by silence. Now both sides can't use skills, they all rely on their own strength and fighting skills. Liu Xin encouraged him, just think about the time when you fought against the one-horned rhinoceros. Use that feeling to fight that guy, Mr. Mosquito Repellent. The opponent launched a direct attack and quickly approached, intending to use an over-the-shoulder throw. However, Flash Karakara was not so easy to suffer, and immediately began to swing the bone club in his hand. Although it is still a little slippery, it can put some distance between you and the opponent. Bravo. Liu Xin couldn't help but clench his fists. This game must be won. This is a game of fierce decision. Whoever wins, wins. Flash Karakara's eyes became serious, and he wiped the drool off the bone club with his hands. In combat mode, mucus is produced all the time, which is a really troublesome feature. Flash Karakara's attack mode is too simple. Apart from fighting up close, there seems to be no other means. Flash Karakara quickly noticed this shortcoming, and Liu Xin shouted, keep your distance, and remember that your stats can still be activated at this time. Battle armor, open. Dots of small stones condensed on Flash Karakara's body, flashing in light yellow, and the defense was increasing. As you continue to dodge, your defense will continue to improve, and the stats of the battle armor will not be affected. Xiaoxia shook her head slightly, not expecting that the opponent's stats would be useful at this time. It doesn't matter, she believes that her anti-mosquito coil will definitely give her a satisfactory answer. Solve the Flash Karakara in front of you, there is no problem at all. Flash Karakara was almost hit, and the battle armor that was not fully stacked could not be hit. Letting out a long sigh, the stack is almost full, and the armor covering the body can already be seen. The battle armor is definitely the key to this battle, and whether you win or not depends on it. Liu Xin gritted his teeth and said, wait, you must hold on. Although Flash Mosquito Repellent has a unique attack method, the damage caused to the opponent is not low. Coupled with the complicated attack angle, dodging is very exhausting energy. As a result, Flash Karakara will have to expend twice as much energy to dodge. Therefore, simply dodging made Flash Karakara gasp. Then it's time to finish it. Finish it, Mr. Flash Mosquito Repellent. The fist was struck so hard that one could even feel the wind and waves coming out of it. At this moment, Flash Karakara did not dodge, and the corners of Liu Xin's mouth rose. The battle armor is already stacked. Then, next is our home court, the attack power of the bone rod itself plus the blessing of the battle armor. Boom. A crisp sound rang out, perfectly repelling Flash Mosquito Repellent, while Flash Karakara only took a small step back. It can be seen that in this confrontation, Flash Karakara has the upper hand. Kara. This kid started to be arrogant and provocative again, and he really couldn't be idle for a moment. The mosquito coil is still so calm, as if it is so calm no matter what. After adjusting his fist, he continued to attack. Too one-dimensional. This was no challenge at all to Flash Karakura, and the bone stick in his hand began to madly punch. From the passive defense at the beginning to the active attack, every attack is fierce and incomparable. A crisp sound of a punch rang out, and in the blink of an eye, the situation of the battle was reversed. Flash Karakura beat Flash Mosquito Repellent to the point where he was defeated and unable to resist. The bone stick in his hand is like a divine aid and can perfectly deflect Flash Mosquito Repellent King's attacks every time. Bang, bang, bang. Another punch hit Glitter Mosquito Repellent's belly. If it weren't for the protection of mucus and grease, he would have already been lying on the ground. Chapter 25 New Badge. Glitter Mosquito Repellent went from being the dominant player at the beginning to being passively defeated, and was no match for Glitter Karakura. They were constantly retreating, unable to fight back. At least in terms of silence and pure combat skills, it failed. The Glitter Karakura, who was wearing a combat armor, was very impressive. His attacks were continuous and uninterrupted, never giving the opponent a chance to breathe. Take off the flash function, and start facing it head on. Zyark knew that he was no match in the silent environment, so he immediately lifted the silence. Flash Karakura felt his entire body relax, and an inexplicable feeling and strength emerged. This may be the effect of the lifting of silence. The two sides are no longer limited to fighting, but can use their skills. Mr. Flash Mosquito Repellent preemptively attacked, and with enough breath in his mouth, he fired a thick water gun faucet. A simple and crude attack. The effect of the combat armor is still there, and the opponent's water gun can be directly attacked. He then quickly ran towards the flashing mosquito repellent in front of him. Others kept their distance, but it was different, and came straight over. Hypnosis. Mr. Flash Mosquito Repellent's belly was originally normal, but now it started to spin like a turntable. Not to mention the flashing Karakura before his eyes. Liu Xin felt sleepy after seeing it. In fact, Flash Karakura was staggering, delirious, and about to fall into a coma at any moment. Liu Xin shouted, "Don't fall asleep. Are you willing to be killed so easily?" The best thing about the hot-tempered Pokémon is that Liu Xin's oral euphoria is very useful. Kara. Sure enough, Flash Karakura hit himself on the head with a stick, and woke up instantly. Immediately, there was a bang, and a heavy clod of earth fell down, as if to counterattack the attack just now. Shake off the sand. The dust swirled, causing Flash Karakura's attack to fail, and shake off the surrounding dust. They are far apart from each other, and it is equally difficult to deal with them. Bubble light. Countless bubbles gathered into a beam of light, and rushed straight towards the Flash Karakura. He did not dodge, and firmly stared at the attack in front of him. Flash Karakura used earth spikes to consume this attack, and then used boomerang. The earth spikes rose from the ground in front of them and spread out, causing astonishing damage. The foam light in front instantly pierced through, blocking most of it. There are still many thorns that penetrate the ground and directly kill the Flash Karakura. Boomerang. The bone club in his hand was swung with all his might, and the broken stones wrapped around it were also thrown out. The combat effectiveness and lethality are greatly improved, and the opponent collides head-on. Boom. A powerful impact sound was emitted, and the lethality of the boomerang in front of him was truly terrifying, shattering the entire foam light. His momentum continued unabated, and he rushed straight towards the shining mosquito repellent in front of him. Flash Mosquito Repellent, use a slap. Meet it head-on. The small fist began to condense into a huge slap, and then hit the boomerang hard. Liu Xin shouted, "Go up and use collision." Neither Mr. Flash Mosquito Repellent nor Zyark expected that when they blocked the boomerang in front of them, they would not be able to withdraw their hands at all. The whole body is condensed with a faint silver color, and any Pokémon can bring a normal impact. Although the damage is not very high, it is different when combined with it. A punch will surely hit and the body will tilt back. Because of this, the boomerang's attack goes straight inward. It directly broke the effect of the slap, and hit Mr. Flash Mosquito Repellent hard in the stomach. Mosquito Repellent incense. The screams came out, and they couldn't bear it at all. It flew for about 10 meters before stopping, and when it was calm, the battle was over. Mr. Flash Mosquito Repellent fell to the ground, struggled a few times, and then fainted. Flash Karakara retrieved the bone club and declared war arrogantly and proudly. Kara. This is the way to celebrate a victory, and it has been like this throughout the ages. However, Flash Karakara consumes a lot of money, so it is not that easy. Zylaksha retrieved the sparkling mosquito repellent and whispered, "Thank you for your hard work." There are not only Super Series Pokémon, but also mutant and shiny Pokémon. He is truly a magical trainer. This is your badge. Take it. The badge is exactly the same as Moriangxiang's. The blue badge is very beautiful. The South China Gym finally succeeded in the challenge. The next challenger is Itokuro, who spent a lot of time in the last battle. When he saw Liu Xin receiving the badge, he congratulated him. "It seems that I can't beat you this time. In fact, you got the badge very quickly. But wait for me outside, and I will take it out soon." Liu Xin patted him on the shoulder and said, "Then you should work hard. After all, Zylaksha is not weak." Indeed, can the existence of those Pokémon be weak? Moriangxiang quickly stepped forward and said excitedly, "You succeeded. You are indeed very powerful. You are the Pokémon training master, right? Adventures ahead." They made an agreement, and after obtaining the South China Gym badge, they headed to the next city. An hour later, Itohiro let out a long sigh of relief. "After a tough battle, I finally successfully got it." It is said that it seems that, because you defeated all the more powerful Pokémon, my game became easier. I suddenly became curious. What did you face? What Pokémon? Liu Xin casually introduced him, and Itohei felt a little sick when he heard about the Super Series Pokémon. If it were him, he might have been defeated a long time ago. In the southern China region, Super Series Pokémon are extremely terrifying existences. Then there is a shiny Pokémon, and this guy can actually handle it. I'm convinced. In terms of Pokémon, you are much stronger than me. Not only did you defeat the Super Series Pokémon, but you also defeated the shiny Pokémon. It is unbelievable that Itoguro narrowly won. To face such a Pokémon head-on with all types of Pokémon, he will definitely be defeated. It became very clear about the gap in strength. Zylaksha looked at Moriangxiang and chuckled. "Zyazan, you can try to participate in this Pokémon contest." In the next city, there is a Pokémon contest, which is very suitable for you. It is a competition that relies on Pokémon costumes and skills to create magnificent effects or scenes and get high scores. Liu Xin roughly understands this, which is very popular among female trainers. After Angxiang Mori saw it, she immediately hit it off. "Thank you, Sister Zylaksha. I will definitely register when I go to the next city. I think my Pokémon, and I will definitely get good results. After all, they are all such cute and beautiful Pokémon. Pippi can do it, and so can the little crocodile, but it's just the giant claw crab." End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.